Welcome everyone to Jimmy John's Field on this gorgeous Sunday afternoon baseball game. Clear skies here.
But it's a hot one.
Yeah, Brian Fisher and Dan Dilber with you here, and it's going to be 91 degrees as the high for today, and the matchup today is between the Unicorns and the Hoppers. And last night, Dan, the Unicorns won 4-1 over top of the Westside Woolly Mammoths, and 3 of those RBIs came courtesy of Nico Lolio.
Yes.
Lolio, however, Dan, will not be in the lineup today.
Nope.
He was the DH yesterday. Taking over for him in that DH role will be Luke Doyle. Cam Stewart's going to be playing second base for him. And, Dan, do you think that they're going to carry this momentum from yesterday over into today's ballgame?
I feel they can. I feel they're going to do a good job. Also, how about this Unicorns bullpen? They've done a great job as well.
The pitching up and down yesterday was just phenomenal. They had Sam Burton start.
No, he's starting today. Donnie Murray was on the mound for the
yes,
Unicorns
correction.
yesterday.
Sorry, Don Murray started yesterday, and Tom Constant came in the 8th, went 1-2-3, and then Sean Gustan came in and faced only 4 batters, and it's just a great game out of all the pitchers yesterday. 7 innings pitched for Donnie Murray with 5 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. He pitched absolutely phenomenally, keeping his ERA down, getting it even probably lower. And meanwhile, Sam Burton will be on the mound today, and well, he might not have the phenomenal stat line that Donnie Murray did coming into the ball game. He might be able to help carry the momentum. He's got a 5.63 ERA coming into today's ball game in his 16 innings pitched with 23 hits, 17 strikeouts, and 7 walks. He's got a 188 WHIP, which is it's getting up there. You're going to want to get that down. He's going to need to cut down on hits, though, if he wants to be effective on the mound.
Yes, but we also have a new starter as well in the league for the Diamond Hoppers.
For the Diamond Hoppers, it's a new blood.
Michael Stafford.
Yeah, Michael Stafford is a left-handed pitcher. He comes from Canton, Michigan. He played college ball at Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia. And he played 4 years there. And he will get his opportunity to start for the first time ever here at Jimmy John's Field today. So I'm sure he's a little bit eager. And, yeah, like we said, Dan, 91 degrees out today. Just absolute scorcher.
Yes. But we still have a great crowd out on hand here.
Yeah, we thought yesterday was hot with the 87 degrees, and it just worked its way to getting hotter.
Mm-hmm.
Predictions, Dan. Who do you think your player of the game is going to be today?
I'm going to go with Ricky Castro. That's my guy.
Really? Because I'm going to go with the Unicorns' Taylor Gillikowski.
Okay.
Gillikowski in last night's game did go 1 for 4.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have his usual game where he gets like 3 or 4 hits. But, I mean, not everyone's going to have a phenomenal game.
No.
He'll be looking to turn that around today.
Indeed. Castro also coming into this game, he has 52 at-bats, that is. Has driven in 9 runs, has 19 hits, has 3 RBIs, and, his batting average is .365. So I think as of late he's been decent, but I feel he'll have a great game today.
Yeah, you're right, Dan. He is just a constant threat anywhere you put him. Like, he's just dangerous in fashion, like on the base paths, behind the plate, and clearly on defense as well. He's just the full package for the Hoppers, and they can't ask for anything more. It's the reason he hits in the leadoff spot. And Taylor Gillikowski, in his first year in the league, has been tearing it up.
We remember him when he made his first appearance. He was a loud hit.
Yeah, he had a home run in his first game. And strangely enough, the Unicorns will be without Lolio and Brett Balkin today. Both of them, the stash as they tend to call him. Both of them are playing very well for the Unicorns, but just giving them a day of rest after they played yesterday. Lolio, though, had with the 3 RBIs yesterday, propelled his team to the win. So
I feel maybe that's why he get a little tired.
At the same time, though, Dan,
game.
I wouldn't want to take him out when he's hot like that.
I know.
Lolio, he had 2 hits yesterday with those 3 RBIs. I wouldn't want to bring him out of the lineup. Let's see. I would want to see if he could carry that over into today.
Yeah.
Brett Balkin only went 1 for 3 yesterday. He was hit by a pitch and had a base hit. So, anyways, it's starting lineup time here at Jimmy John's Field, so I'll send it down the field for that. It's Hoppers, then Unicorns, then National Anthem.
First, let's welcome the visiting team, the Eastside Hoppers, managed by All OG. Starting lineups for today's game are sponsored by AAA Michigan. Leading off and batting first, the shortstop from the Dominican Republic, Ricky Castro. Batting second from Virginia Beach, Virginia. baseman number 21, Esteban Gomez. Batting fourth from Elmhurst, Illinois, the right fielder number 12, John Mencken. Batting fifth from Griffin, Georgia, the third baseman number 1, Nate Farrell. Batting sixth from Lumberton, North Carolina, the left fielder number 22, Chris Power. Batting seventh from Draper, Utah, today's designated hitter number 8, Mark Kruger. Batting eighth from Tallahassee, Florida, the catcher number 4, Kyle Figueroa. Batting ninth from Nutley, New Jersey, the center fielder number 24, John Kraft. And the starting pitcher for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers today, making his USPBL debut from Kent, Michigan, number 19, Michael Stafford. Okay, do we have any Unicorn fans in the house here today? Oh, big crowd. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's root for your home team, the Utica Unicorns, managed by Jim Essien. Leading off and batting first from Fraser, Michigan, the left fielder number 19, Taylor Yelikowski. Batting second from Denville, New Jersey, the second baseman number 20, Mike Rampone. Batting third from Phoenix, Arizona, the designated hitter number 9, Luke Doyle. Batting fourth from Dallas, Texas, the center fielder number 10, Brandon Raw. Batting fifth from Bay Shore, New York, the right fielder number 4, Chris Cruz. Batting sixth from Grayson, Georgia, the first baseman number 44, Clay Ardeezer. Batting seventh from Streetwood, Illinois, the third baseman number 22, Brandon Guilfoyle. Batting eighth from Cheshire, Connecticut, the catcher number 6, Timothy Budd. Batting ninth from Chicago, Illinois, the shortstop number 2, Quinton Alexander. And the starting pitcher for the Utica Unicorns today from Pikeville, Kentucky, number 7, Sam Burton. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats. Veterans and active military may keep your caps on while rendering the hand salute as we honor America and our military with the singing of our national anthem, performed today by Vicki Thomas.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in
All right, welcome back, everyone, to this beautiful Sunday afternoon game between the Hoppers and the Unicorns. Brian Fisher and Dan Dober here. And Dan, do you want to run through that lineup for the Hoppers one more time
Yes,
for
I
those
will.
just tuning in?
I certainly will, Brian. Batting first and playing shortstop is Ricky Castro. Batting second and playing second is Cam Stewart. Batting third and playing first base today for the Diamond Hoppers, Esteban Gomez. Batting fourth and playing right field, John Macon. Batting fifth and making his USPBL debut at third base, Nate Farrell. Batting sixth and playing left field, Chris Power. Batting seventh and at the designated hitter position will be Mark Kruger. Batting eighth and behind the plate is Kyle Figueroa. And batting ninth and playing center is John Kraft. And defensively for the Unicorns at third base is Brandon Raw. Or Brandon Guilfoyle, that is. At shortstop, Quentin Alexander. At second, Mike Rapone. At first, Clay Artisier. In left field, you have Terry Gredakowski. In center, you have Brandon Raw. And in right, you have Chris Cruz. And behind the plate is Tim B. Budd. And on the mound is Sam Burton.
So we're just a few moments away from first pitch here at Jimmy John's Field, where Sam Burton will be on the mound for the Utica Unicorns. And he's got a 5.63 ERA so far with a 1-1 record, and he's going to be looking to cut down on his hits. He's got 23 hits in 16 innings pitched. So Ricky Castro will step in now. He, last time these two teams faced each other, I should say, went 1 for 5 with a double. First pitch he sees is going to be a ball, and first pitch will be at 1:02 p.m. 1:32 p.m., correction. The 1-0 pitch is going to be way inside. Castro's going to have to duck out of the way of that one. 2-0.
And Castro's my player of the game.
That's who you had voted for. I voted for Taylor Galikowski, but we'll see who is right. As the 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike, 2-1. I see lots of people huddled and cramped over there underneath those umbrellas in right field and left field.
Wouldn't blame them.
It's a scorcher out there today as that one's grounded right over to the first baseman. Artizer couldn't get it, and that's going to allow Castro to get on. Artizer pounds the ground in frustration as he feels he should have had that one.
Now batting the second baseman, number 2.
So that'll be a hit for Ricky Castro. And Cam Stewart will step in here in the top of the first inning with a man on and no out. Cam Stewart normally switches off and on with Luke Doyle at second base. Or, I don't know what I'm saying. That's not true. Luke Doyle's on the Unicorns. Cam Stewart throw down to first, and Castro's easily back in there.
You call it lazy Sundays for a reason, right?
Yeah. Comes the first pitch to Cam Stewart. Swung on and chopped foul. 0-1. .88-mile-an-hour fastball from Sam Burton. Decent lead for Castro down there at first. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Going to be inside for a ball. 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Be outside. 2-1 now on Cam Stewart. Artizer's playing to hold Castro at first base. Smart, considering Castro's got all that speed. Wouldn't be surprised to see him try and steal. The 2-1 pitch is swung on through the hole on the right side, and that's going to be a base hit. Castro's going to try and go all the way to third, and he will get in there standing up. So now runners at the corners here in the top of the first inning with nobody out.
Now batting the first baseman, number 21, Esteban Gomez.
So Esteban Gomez stands in, and a chance to give his team the lead here in the top of the first inning. Shakes the ump and the catcher's hands, Timothy Budd. Last time out, Esteban Gomez went 1 for 2. He had a base hit, got on, hit into a fielder's choice, and walked 3 times. So he's shown exquisite patience at that plate. And that pitch is going to be in there for a strike, 0-1.
Coming into this game, Sam Burton has given up 23 hits, which is very high on the team besides Donnie Murray giving up 22.
Comes the 0-1 pitch. It's going to be low, ball 1-1.
But normally as a starter, you're going to give up a lot of hits. As you make your appearances.
Hopefully they'll give up more hits than the relievers. You don't want the relievers to give up more hits than the starters. Something's off there, but the starters don't want to give up any hits either. So they're going to throw it on a first, and Cam Stewart's going to get back in there safely. Had a slide in, but got in nonetheless. Esteban Gomez comes into the day batting .289 on the season. Has 2 home runs. See if he can get another hit here. The 1-1 pitch is swung on and grounded back to the mound. They're going to go back to second base. Castro's going to tag at third and come home. So the fielder's choice will allow Castro to score. And the Hoppers have a early 1-0 lead here in the top of the first inning with now 1 out. Cam Stewart was thrown out at second, so it's just going to be Esteban Gomez down there at first. John Mencken will step in now with 1 out and 1 man on, and his team now has a 1-0 lead. He's batting .314 on the season, Dan. He has 1 home run and 11 hits. Swings and misses at the first one. That's going to be a strike, 0-1. Last time these two teams played each other back on the 4th, John Mencken went 1 for 5. He had a base hit RBI, though. And that'll be in there for a strike, 0-2. .0-2 count on Mencken. 1 man on, 1 out. Here comes the pitch. It's going to be inside for a ball. 1-2 now. Clear blue skies, a couple of scattered small clouds in the air, and the breeze is going from left field to right field. Not a hard wind.
No.
Not going to affect the play too much, as that one's in for a ball. 2 apiece.
Probably some wish there was a little bit more breeze since it's going to be a hot one.
Yeah, I'm sure all of them out there would not complain about having a strong gust of wind right now, as the 2-2 pitch is going to be down in the dirt low, 3-2. As it's an absolute scorcher here on Princess Day at Jimmy John's Field.
Who's your favorite princess, Brian?
Oh, we had this discussion last night, man. I told you.
Sometimes I forget.
Mine was Wonder Woman, but they're going for more of a Disney princess theme. And that's going to be a walk. Esteban Gomez will advance to second. So with 1 out here in the top of the first and a 1-0 lead for the Hoppers, Nate Farrell will step in.
And I apologize when I was giving the lineup a bit ago. I said he was making his debut. He's not. He has quite a few appearances here in USPBL.
Yeah, he's got a 200 average coming into the day with 2 hits and 2 runs. So both times he's gotten a hit, he has eventually come around to score. Let's see if that trend will continue. As the first pitch to him is way outside, and Bud has to stretch his arm out there to get it. It's 1-0 on him now.
So right now, not a good start for Sam Burton that he hoped for.
Sam Burton's struggling, yeah. Yeah, Dan, right here in the top of the first inning. He already let 1 earned run in, and there's only 1 out, and man on first and second. He's got to get himself under control here. The 1-0 pitch was going to be in there for a strike, 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Foul tipped that one off the inside of his leg. He's going to go walk that one off. 1-2 now on Farrell.
You know, for it being Princess Day, I know last night I said Sleeping Beauty, which I'm going to change that today. I'm going to go with Belle from
You can't,
Beauty and the Beast.
you can't go and change
Well,
things on it.
I can do whatever I want, Brian.
Oh, wow. Getting assertive over here, are you, Dan?
Yes, I am.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's going to be skied foul. We're going to remain 1-2.
That foul ball is courtesy of our friends at Northwestern Tech.
Comes the 1-2 pitch. Got him and strikes. Caught him looking there. That'll be the first strikeout for Sam Burton in the afternoon. And there'll be 2 outs now in the top of the first. And Chris Power will step in now with 2 outs and 2 men on in the top of the first, giving his with a chance to extend the lead for his team here. They currently are already up 1-0 after the fielder's choice RBI by Esteban Gomez.
And that was Burton's 18th strikeout to start this season.
Yeah, the strikeouts aren't a problem for him. He strikes out plenty enough guys. It's just he gives up a lot of hits as well, as that one's going to hit Chris Power. And Burton's not having a good first inning here. So now the bases will be loaded with 2 outs. And Mark Kruger, the DH, will step in. And Sam Burton's really struggling here in the top of the first inning. He's given up 2 base hits, a fielder's choice, and walking a hit by pitch. He's just struggling to get guys out here, and not what you want to see from your starting pitcher this early in the game. Kruger's only batting .200 on the season, though, as that one's going to get away or be a wild pitch, but Bud's going to be able to corral it. So it'd be 1-0. The 1-0 pitch is going to be grounded over to the second baseman, Rampone. He'll make the throw down to first, and Burton's going to get out of the inning with only 1 hit or 1 earned run. So he minimizes the damage, and the Unicorns have to be pretty frustrated with that. So we're going to go to the bottom of the first with a 1-0 lead for the Diamond Hoppers. And leading off for the Unicorns will be Taylor Galikowski, Mike Rampone, and the DH Luke Doyle. So we'll be back shortly with more. Stay tuned. And welcome back here, Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler, and we're going to go through the Utica Unicorns lineup here before they take at bat.
All right, here we go. Batting first and in left field for the Unicorns is Taylor Galikowski. Batting second, and at second today is Mike Rampone. Batting third and DH today is Luke Doyle. Batting fourth and in center field is Brandon Raw. Batting fifth and in right field today is Chris Cruz. Batting sixth and playing first is Clay Artesier. Batting seventh and playing third base is Brandon Guilfoyle. Batting eighth and behind the plate is Timothy Budd. And rounding up the lineup for the Unicorns, batting ninth and playing shortstop is Quentin Alexander. And defensively for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, out in left you have Chris Power. In center you have John Kraft. In right, you have John Mencken. At third, you have Nate Farrell. At short, you have Ricky Castro. At second, you have Cam Stewart. At first, you have Esteban Gomez. Behind the plate, doing the catching is Kyle Figueroa. And on the mound is Michael Stafford.
And Michael Stafford making his USPBL debut today. Like I mentioned earlier, he did 4 years at Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia, but he is from Canton, Michigan here. He's another Michigan native. Lots of pickups this season, Dan, have all come from Michigan, it seems, with Yetsko and Galikowski, Guilfoyle, and now Mike Stafford, too. So Taylor Galikowski will step in, batting .325 on the season.
And like you said, from Michigan, he's from Fraser.
Yesterday, Galikowski went 1 for 4 with a base hit. First pitch he sees is going to be a ball 1-0.
And he's your player of the game.
He's the guy I picked.
Pick, yeah.
He's a safe pick, I feel. I don't think you can really go wrong with picking Taylor Galikowski on any given day. And it's 1-1 now on him. Stafford's going to step off the mound and collect himself. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Ooh, it's going to hit Galikowski. And the first batter that Stafford's going to face here in the USPBL, he's going to beam.
So a little nerves kicking in.
So Mike Rampone will step in, and if Stafford can't right the ship here, Figueroa's going to have to figure out something quickly to calm him down. So Rampone will step in, now batting just 143 on the season. And he's got Galikowski down there at first, and these freebies tend to come around to hurt.
They sure do, Brian.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want is to, hit a batter, because that looks bad on you and can heighten tensions between the teams. And that'll be in there for a ball. 1-0 now on Rampone. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's going to be inside, 2-0.
Same location as the last one. He just threw.
It's pretty close to it, at least. Decent lead for Galikowski down there at first. Comes the 2-0 pitch. He's going to ground that one fouled on the third base line. 2-1 now. Comes the 2-1 pitch. He's going to fly that one in the stands behind home plate, and that'll go to 2-2. Count is even now.
I noticed the fans are using anything that they can use as a fan to keep them cool.
A lot of them use the programs that they give out at the gates when you first walk in to try and cool themselves off, as it is just a scorcher here today. Here comes the 2-2. It's going to be high, 3-2. Count is full now on Mike Rampone. No outs here in the bottom of the first, and Galikowski's over there at first base. So 1-0 lead for the Hoppers, thanks to the fielder's choice RBI from Esteban Gomez back in the top half of the inning. Hoppers left him loaded, though. Comes the 3-2, and they're going to have Galikowski in a rundown. Throw down to second, and they're going to get him easily at second base. So Galikowski's caught stealing, and now it's going to be 1 out with no man on from Mike Rampone and a full count. Galikowski's probably going to be kicking himself. A quick talk with Essien down there at third base. Essien still with the untucked jersey.
Yeah, very weird to see.
It's not something you usually see, but I guess to each their own. 3-2 pitch is going to be beamed on a line down the third base line, but foul.
Kind of wishes he could straighten that one out.
Yeah, so he's gonna remain at 3-2 now with 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. swing and a miss from Mike Rampone, and he swung so hard he spun himself around, and that's going to be a strikeout swinging for Mike Stafford, his first strikeout in the USPBL.
Came early.
So now Luke Doyle, the DH, will step in. Luke Doyle usually plays second base, but today he's manning the DH slot. He's batting .333 on the season. Yesterday against the Mammoths, Luke Doyle went 0 for 4, or 0 for 3. He had a hit by pitch, though, and he got on base that way. First pitch to him was a strike. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's going to be down in the dirt for a ball. 1-1, and they're going to get a new ball out there for Stafford. Comes the 1-1 pitch. Outside for a ball. 2-1 now on Doyle. The 2-1 pitch is going to be driven on a line to the second baseman, Stewart, right into his glove. He just had to make a quick hop to grab that one. So after hitting the first man, he gets the next two guys. So it's going to be a 1-0 lead for the Hoppers going to the top of the second inning. We're due up for the Hoppers will be Kyle Figueroa, the catcher, following him the center fielder John Kraft, and shortstop Ricky Castro. So we'll be back shortly with more. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to Jimmy John's Field. Brian Fisher and Dan Dilber here. It is a 1-0 lead for the Hoppers over the Utica Unicorns here in the top of the second inning. So Kyle Figueroa will step in, try to add more onto that lead. And the first pitch he sees from Burton is going to be a ball, 1-0.
Yeah, a little shaky start for Burton.
Yeah, he had a rough first inning, but he managed to get out of a bases-loaded jam and minimize the damage to just one run. And it's going to be 1-1 now on Figueroa. Here at Princess Day at Jimmy John's Field as Belle walks in front of us in the grandstand.
It's got to be hot in that dress.
Yeah, we've seen Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, and Belle, and I got to imagine on a day like this, it's got to be super uncomfortable as it's 2-1 on Kyle Figueroa. That's going to be in there for a ball, so 3-1. No. Figueroa comes into today batting .273 with 12 hits. 7 RBI. That one's going to be in there for a strike. Full count now. Last time the Hoppers played the Unicorns, Figueroa had 2 RBIs. And he's going to go down swinging and go down on strikes. That'll be the second strikeout today for Sam Burton and his first one swinging. So now John Kraft will step in with 1 out here in the top of the second inning. Here comes the first pitch. That's way outside. Out of the hands of Sam Burton. You could tell that was going to be a ball. So 1-0 on Kraft. Kraft batting .250 on the season as of right now with 3 hits and 1 run. And he swings and misses at that one. Big rip. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch is going to be tipped foul. 1-2. It's the delivery. It's going to be just a little bit outside. Count will go even at 2 apiece. As the game progresses here, the grandstand continues to get more and more filled up. I was a little bit worried. It looked a little bit vacant when the game first started, but now it's filled up nicely, and that pitch is going to be, he's going to get just a piece of it to stay alive, so it'll remain 2-2.
We had a great crowd on hand last night.
Yes, we did. Yes, last night we had a packed ballpark, and today's filling out pretty nicely as well. The heat's probably keeping some people away, but overall, it's a beautiful Sunday evening, or Sunday afternoon. That one's going to be in there for a ball, 3-2 now. You can actually, last night we had the Boy Scouts camping out on the field as the 3-2 pitch is flown into foul territory, left of home plate, and Guilfoyle's going to go over and called off by Alexander, who makes a diving play in foul territory. That was quite the comedic routine there as Guilfoyle went over to catch it. It was called off, so he dropped to the ground, and Alexander kind of dove over top of him. So it's going to be 2 outs now. And Sam Burton is continuing to struggle on the mound. He's gotten the first 2 guys out here, but he has 3 full counts now on the ball game already. So he's going to want to cut down on that, or else he's not going to be in this game for very long. So it's going to be 0-1 or 1-0 on Castro. Reached on an infield base hit his last time up. 2-0 now. Comes the 2-0 pitch. I'll be in there for a strike, 2-1. Two-one pitch will be in there for a strike. Good pitch there, 76-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch. 2-2 with 2 outs in the top of the second inning. 1-0 lead for the Hoppers. The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed by Ricky Castro. And that'll be the 3rd strikeout of the day for Sam Burton. He goes 1-2-3 in the top of the second.
Better than the first.
Yes, much better outing than the first inning. So we go to the bottom of the second, and due up for the Utica Unicorns will be center fielder Brandon Raw. Following him will be Chris Cruz and first baseman Clay Artizer. So when we come back, Unicorns will be due up. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom of the second inning. The Hoppers lead at 1-0, and Brendan Raw is due up to lead it off in the bottom of the second. His team wasn't able to do anything in the top or bottom of the first. Taylor Galikowski got on through a hit by pitch, but ended up getting picked off at second base, and then it was strikeout and pop out or line out. The first pitch Raw sees is going to be swung on and missed. Big rip there. 0-1. Stafford with the 88-mile-an-hour fastball. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's going to be way outside, 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That'll be inside, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch is going to be high, 3-1. And Raw is not seeing anything that he can really swing at yet. All these pitches that have been for balls was one way outside, one inside, and one way high. It's just like not even close to the strike zone. And that one's going to be way outside again. That one down low too, and that's going to be a walk on 5 pitches to Brendan Raw.
Next up, the right fielder, number 4, Chris Cruz.
So Chris Cruz will step in now. Last night when the Unicorns battled the Mammoths, Chris Cruz went 0 for 2, drew 2 walks though, and I'm sorry, he went 1 for 2. He had a double and a walk with 2 strikeouts.
Batting average 231, has 12 hits, and that also has 2 home runs and 11 RBIs.
Here comes the first pitch to him. It's going to be way outside, and it's going to get away from Figueroa, and Brandon Raw's going to try and get down to second safely, and he does. So Raw steals second on the wild pitch from Mike Stafford. It's going to be 1-0 on Chris Cruz as he waits on the second pitch of his at-bat. Comes the 1-0 pitch. Way outside again, almost the same location where Figueroa had to get it last time. It's 2-0. Notice that Stafford sets himself up on the mound on the far right side of the plate.
Which is really weird to see.
Yeah, he keeps his back left foot on the edge of the plate. And that one's going to be in there for a strike, 2-1. Stafford with a look back to second. Comes the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed, and it's going to be count even, 2-2.
That was a big rip by Cruz.
Yeah, he thought he saw something different there and just missed over top of it. Here comes the 2-2. Swung on and missed, and Chris Cruz goes down on strikes. The second strikeout for Mike Stafford today. And so Clay Artizer will step up with 1 out and 1 man on, and a chance to tie this ball game if he can bring home Brandon Raw from second. Last night, Clay Artizer went 1 for 3. He had a base hit and came around to score and a walk. You might not think of it because of his size, but he's extremely flexible. He does the splits a lot down there at first base in order to get that, catch the balls. That one's in for a strike, 0-1.
And like you said, we seen it from him last night.
Yeah, he did a very a very impressive splits to catch a ball and keep his foot on the bag, and he's not afraid to use it. As I jokingly said that he's just a show off, as the 0-1 is in there for a strike, 0-2. Artizer comes in today batting .269, 14 hits and a home run, 6 RBI. The 0-2 pitch will in there for a strike, and Artizer does not agree on that one.
Wow.
And that's going to be 2 consecutive strikeouts for Mike Stafford. And Guilfoyle will be the last chance here in the bottom of the second inning to tie this ball game. Brandon Guilfoyle batting .222 so far this season. First pitch he sees is called a strike, 0-1. Guilfoyle went 0 for 2 yesterday. He got on base through a walk and a hit by pitch. When he was hit by a pitch, he did, however, come around to score as part of the 2-run fourth inning for the Unicorns. Here comes the 0-1. I'll be outside for a ball, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. We fouled it in the netting, 1-2, and Mike Stafford is one pitch away from doing a great comeback after the leadoff walk. We saw that last inning as well. He beamed the first guy he was pitching to, Taylor Galikowski, then caught him stealing, picked him off, struck out Rampone, and lined out Doyle, and he's doing something similar this inning. He walked Rampone and then struck out the next two. So he doesn't get rattled very easily up there on the mound.
He doesn't.
The 1-2 pitch. He swung and drilled into left field, and Power's going to go back to the track, and that ball's going to be gone, a home run. That one went off the light pole out there in left center field, and that's going to be a 2-run home run for Brandon Guilfoyle and give his team a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the second inning.
And his first in his USPBL career. Well, that'd be a second, that is. Sorry.
And Mike Stafford was one pitch away from getting out of that inning, but he hung a changeup right in the middle of the strike zone, and that's just a mistake you can't make.
No.
And you see that all the time in any level of league where that one's just going to get clobbered every time. So Tim Budd will step in with .217 batting average and bases clear with 2 outs. And he's going to try and keep this line moving here. First pitch he sees is going to be high for a ball, 1-0. Tim Budd last night went 0 for 4. He reached on an error and came around to score, though, in the 7th inning, thanks to the Fielder's Choice RBI from Raw last night. 1-0 is going to be flied into foul territory, into the right field party patio. So 1-1 now. The 1-1 pitch will be outside, 2-1. Defense playing Bud straight up. No shifts to speak of. And the 2-1 pitch is going to get through into left field. A ground ball base hit for Tim Budd. So now Quentin Alexander will step in. He didn't play last night during the Unicorns' victory over the Mammoths. And he's batting just .214 on the season with 3 hits and 1 RBI. And we have a 2-1 lead for the Unicorns over the Hoppers here in the bottom of the second, thanks to the 2-run home run from Guilfoyle. And man at first base with 2 outs. So a chance to tack on some more runs as they just keep going through the lineup. And that first pitch is going to be a ball, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch is going to be inside for a ball, 2-0. Two-0 pitch is going to be grounded fouled on the first base line. 2-1 now on Alexander. That home run from Guilfoyle hit the light pole over there in left center field, just to the left of the scoreboard. And it was quite the home run, and they're going to pick off
Wow.
Tim Budd without much of an effort. Tim Budd looked like he was about to take off, and the throw over from Stafford gets him. So after 2 innings of play, it's going to be a 2-1 lead going to the top of the third thanks to the 2-run home run from Brandon Guilfoyle. So we'll go to the top of the third inning where Cam Stewart's going to lead it off. Following him will be Esteban Gomez and the right fielder John Mankin. So we'll be back shortly with more. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the third inning. We're due up for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers will be Cam Stewart. He reached on a base hit his first time up in the first inning and then eventually got picked off at second. First pitch to Stewart's going to be a strike, 0-1. And Cam Stewart was our writer Steve's pick for player of the game. And it's going to be 0-2 on him now. So far he's got a base hit, so that's looking good in his favor. But the pickoff, Steve, I don't know. And that one's going to get past Bud, but no man on, so nothing to worry about. 1-2 on Stewart now. And that one's going to be hit to the shortstop, Alexander. Throw it down to Artizer at first, and he's going to get him. So 1 up, 1 down for Burton in the top of the third.
Now batting the first baseman.
So Esteban Gomez will step in. He hit into a fielder's choice his last time up. Gomez with the lone RBI for the Hoppers so far today, and that one's going to be a strike, 0-1. That pitch will be high, 1-1 now.
Batting .289, has 13 hits, 12 RBIs, and 2 home runs.
1-1 pitch will be down low, 2-1. 2-1 pitch is going to be low again. 3-1 now on Esteban Gomez. Comes the 3-1. Swung on and fouled into the netting. 3-2. Full count now on Gomez. Not as many fans out on that grassy hill in right field as last time.
Yeah, it was packed.
Yesterday it was absolutely jam-packed. It's about half full today, I'd wager. And that 3-2 pitch is fouled off into the netting. Remain 3-2.
Definitely a lot of kids here at the ballpark.
Not as many as yesterday. Yesterday we had those 800 Boy Scouts, but yeah, you can actually still see the imprints on the grass in foul territory where those tents were from when they were camping out last night. 3-2 pitch swung on and missed, and Sam Burton dusts Esteban Gomez off after a 3-2 count. And that is going to be his 4th strikeout of the ball game, and he has no problem striking people out as he comes into the day batting with 17 strikeouts in 16 innings, and so far he's keeping that trend up.
Sure is.
So John Macon will step in. He drew a walk his first time up. First pitch to him is going to be called a strike, 0-1. Oh-1 pitch in there for a ball, 1-1. If you look over there at the little concert venue in right field, Dan, look at all those people camped out underneath the overhang of it, the shade.
Yeah, that's
1-2 now.
People are going to be fighting for today.
Yeah, usually there's, especially on Saturdays when we do WCXS Rock Saturdays, there's usually a band out there, but today with no band, you just got a lot of people fanning themselves and staying in the shade. That 91-degree temperature is just killing out there.
It sure is.
And that one's going to be grounded right up the middle for a base hit, and Macon's going to get on with 2 outs. So Nate Farrell will step in. He struck out looking his last time up. The breeze has shifted a little bit, it looks like. At first it was coming from left field to right field, but it's looking like it's going straight away now. As the flag out there, as that one's going to be drilled fair down the first base line. And John Macon's going to go to third base, and he's going to be called. Well, he's going to score, and it's going to be an RBI double for John Macon. Or Nate Farrell as John Macon scores. I got tongue-tied there, trying to say he got signaled around third. But it is now a tie 2-2 ball game thanks to the Nate Farrell RBI double that scores John Macon. He drilled that one down the first base line, just barely fair, and over into the corner. So Chris Power will step in with 2 outs and a man on second. Chance to give his team the lead yet again in this ball game. 1-0 on Power after that one was a ball.
It's going to be a battle between these two. throughout the season, I expect.
Check swing on that one, but he did not go, so 2-0 on Power. Power got hit by a pitch his first time up, but got no further than that. Comes the 2-0 pitch. I'll be inside for a ball. 3-0 now. Sam Burton can't allow himself to get rattled after that double. He's just 1 out away from getting out of this inning. But he's 3-0 on Chris Power. That one's going to be in there for a strike. Chris Power doesn't even think about swinging. He takes on a 3-0 pitch. Through one pitch is going to be outside, so he's going to walk Chris Power. So we're going to have men at first and second, and Bud's going to come out to the mound and try and calm down Sam Burton. And Nagum is warming up in the bullpen out there for the Unicorns as early as the 3rd inning now. Sam Burton's had a lot of 3-2 counts on him, so his pitch count's up there. Bud will return back to the home plate where Mark Kruger will step in. He's got 2 men on with 2 outs here in the top half of the 3rd inning. First time up, he grounded over to the second baseman. The first pitch will be a ball, 1-0.
It looks like Nico Lalio out there warming up with him. Like, playing catch.
You threw me off there, Dan. I thought you meant pitching. I'm like, Lulio doesn't pitch.
No.
And it's going to be a strike, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch is driven to center field, but playable by Brandon Raw. He'll get underneath that one and make the catch. So the Hoppers get one back and tie this ball game at 2 apiece. And we'll go back to the bottom half of the 3rd inning where due up for the Unicorns will be Quentin Alexander. Following him will be Taylor Galikowski and Mike Rampone. So we'll be back shortly with more. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the 3rd inning where the game is tied 2-2 after the RBI double from Nate Farrell tied it up in the top of the inning. Quinn Alexander will step in. He was at bat in the top or bottom of the 2nd when Tim Budd got picked off. So it'll be 1-0 now on him. The 1-0 pitch is going to be inside, 2-0 now. 2-0 pitch will be inside. 3-0 now on Quentin Alexander. He hasn't had anything to swing at yet. They've all been pitches inside. That one will be in there for a strike. 3-1 now on Alexander. Another interesting thing about Essien down there at third base is he's not even wearing the right colors for the ball game today. As that one's going to be outside for a walk. As he's wearing those charcoal jerseys from yesterday that the Unicorns donned, and the rest of the team's wearing white today.
Yeah, which I really love those uniforms they were wearing last night.
I just find it interesting. I wonder what the reasoning behind that is.
Maybe he lost a bet.
Maybe he forgot his jersey in the wash. Who knows? First pitch that Galikowski sees is going to be a strike. 0-1. So no outs here in the bottom of the third inning. Alexander down there at first after drawing a walk. Well, first time up, Galikowski got hit by a pitch and then caught stealing. Picked off to be exact. Throw down at first, but isn't able to get Alexander. Apparently Essien wears that charcoal jersey, as I'm being told, because it's heavy and acts like a BP top. So I guess comfort is the reason why. The 0-1 pitch is going to be grounded over to the second baseman. Going to get him at second, throw down at first, and that's going to be a 4-6-3 double play as Galikowski hits that one right to Stewart at second. So Mike Rampone will step in with 2 outs and now no men on, as this game is tied 2-2 in the bottom half of the third inning.
He was one of Stafford's strikeout victims.
Yes, his first time out, he was struck out swinging, and that was Stafford's first strikeout, Dan, in the USPBL. If you're just tuning in, the Hoppers got out to a 1-0 lead back in the first, thanks to the RBI from Esteban Gomez. Unicorns retaliated with a 2-run home run in the second inning, thanks to Brennan Guilfoyle, but then the Hoppers tied it back up in the top of this inning with a RBI double from Nate Farrell. And that one's going to be line fouled on the third base line. 0-1 now on Rampone. Comes the 0-1 pitch, and he's going to drill that one into left field. As Power's going to have to, that one's going to be gone, a home run, and Matt Rampone's going to hit a solo shot over into left field to give the Unicorns a 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the third inning. And that was a line drive home run, and Power looked like he was going to play it off the wall, and that's what I thought was going to happen, but then he looked up, and it was over the wall.
Just got over.
So now with a newly reestablished lead, Luke Doyle will step in after the solo shot from Mike Rampone just a moment ago.
That was Rampone's first of the season.
Rampone was just batting, I think, like .214 on the season, so it's good to see him with a little bit of pop in his bat. That first pitch to Doyle is going to be outside, 1-0. Doyle lined out to Cam Stewart his last time up. Got good contact on it, just hit it right to him, unfortunately. Comes the 1-0 pitch. He's going to fly that one straight up in the air. And that one will land in the stands, so it'll be 1-1 now on Luke Doyle. And that's the second home run that Mike Stafford has given up today. The first one was the 2-1 home run by Brandon Guilfoyle. That one's going to be grounded over to the first baseman, Gomez. Stafford will be called off as Gomez goes over and tags base. So after the solo shot from Mike Rampone, the Unicorns have a really established 3-2 lead going to the top of the fourth inning, where due up for the Hoppers will be Kyle Figueroa, following him the center fielder Kraft, and the shortstop Ricky Castro. So we'll be back shortly. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the fourth inning. There is a pitching change for the Utica Unicorns. Sam Burton is out after 67 pitches and 3 innings pitched. He gave up 4 hits and 2 earned runs and 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. So his control just wasn't there today,
No,
Dan.
it wasn't.
He had several 3-2 counts early in the ball game. Was just struggling with his command. So they just pulled him before it got any worse. The silver lining is he had 4 strikeouts and 3 innings pitched, and that was always his strong suit, of striking guys out.
Yes.
But now Brendan Nagum will step on the mound in relief. And the first pitch he throws to Kyle Figueroa is a strike, 0-1.
Nagum has 15 innings pitched this season. He has given up 6 hits, does have a loss, has 15 strikeouts, and his ERA is 180 and WHIP is 107.
It's a smart move by the Unicorns to go to Nagum in the bullpen to come in and throw some innings and really settle things down, as that one's in for a strike, 1-2. He's definitely one of the surefire arms they have. Usually comes in and does a good job, and you can expect the same type of outing today. Comes the 1-2 pitch. And that one's going to be grounded through the hole on the right side. Rampone made a diving attempt to stop it, but couldn't get there, so it'll be a base hit for Kyle Figueroa. So now John Kraft will step in. He has popped up over in the foul territories last time up, and Quentin Alexander came over to make the catch. So he's 0 for 1. First pitch Kraft sees from Nagum is going to be a strike, 0-1. Not too much of a lead to speak of for Figueroa at first. The 0-1 pitch is going to be called a ball, 1-1. Kraft showed bunt on that one, but pulled it back. The 0-2 pitch swung on and flied foul into the netting. So it'll remain 0-2 on him. You're going to throw down a first, but Figueroa just takes a couple steps back to the base. He's not really getting much of a leadoff down there. The 0-2 pitch just outside for a ball. 1-2 now. One-two pitch will be low and away. Count is even at 2 apiece now. Two-two pitch will be just outside. Count is going to go full now, 3-2. And Nagum has his first full count of the day. Still no outs here in the top of the 4th inning. 3-2 ball game in favor of the Unicorns after the solo shot last half inning from Mike Rampone. That one will be in there for a strike, and John Kraft's not going to agree with that call, but it's going to be a strikeout looking for Brandon Nagum, his first of the ball game.
Definitely a close pitch there.
Yeah, he thought that was a walk for sure. And then when he heard the ump calling it a strike, he stopped and kind of gave that glance back like, really?
Sometimes it's not going to go your way.
Well, that's just how baseball is. Ricky Castro will step in, and he is a 1 for 2 today. He had an infield base hit and a strikeout.
And my pick for player of the game?
Figueroa is still down there at first base. He got on through a base hit earlier this inning. First pitch that Castro's going to see will be a ball, 1-0. Throw down a first, and Figueroa slides back in, but I'm not even necessarily sure if that was necessary.
No, it wasn't.
He it almost looked like he just kind of laid down on first. 'Cause he's only a few steps off the bag. He doesn't have that big of a lead. And the throws from Nagum aren't very hard. Comes the 1-0 pitch. It's going to be high and away. 2-0 now on Castro. Two-0 pitch. It's going to be in there for a strike. 2-1.
Castro, definitely a fan favorite here.
Two and one pitch is going to be way outside. 3-1 now. Brandon Nagum has thrown 3 balls now to 2 consecutive batters. Managed to strike out John Kraft in the last at-bat during the full count. Let's see what he can do here against Castro. Three-one pitch. In the first strike. Count is going full now, 3-2 with 1 out and 1 man on. The Unicorns have a 3-2 lead here in the top of the 4th inning. Comes the 3-2. Swung and drilled into left center, where Raw is going to get underneath it to make the catch. And that'll be 2 outs now in the top of the 4th inning. 2 3-2 counts in a row for Brandon Nagum, but they've both gone his way. And Cam Stewart is going to walk up. He's 1 for 2 today as a base hit back in the 1st inning.
Last time these two teams faced each other, Stewart went 2 for 3 with a home run and 3 RBIs.
And actually, all those RBIs came in the same inning, Dan. It was a solo shot home run, and then later in the same inning, he had a double for 2 RBIs. So that's not often when you see a player get multiple RBIs in an inning from 2 different at-bats.
Certainly isn't.
The 0-1 pitch will be in there for a strike. 0-2 now. Oh, and 2 pitches drilled right back up the middle for a base hit into center field. So that'll put Kyle Figueroa into scoring position with 2 outs. Esteban Gomez has a chance to tie the ball game. He got an RBI back in the 1st when he hit into a fielder's choice. Struck out his last time up, though. Comes the first pitch to Gomez. In there for a strike. 0-1. Comes the 0-1 pitch. Gonna be in the dirt, but not far away from Bud. 1-1 now on Gomez. 1-1 count with 2 men on and 2 out here in the top of the 4th inning. 3-2 lead for the Utica Unicorns. The Hoppers looking to tie this ball game up. 1-1 pitch is a ball. 2-1 now, as that one was in the dirt. Comes the 2-1. And there for a strike. Count is even at 2 apiece.
Just cut that outside corner.
Yeah, Dan. Brandon Nagum, he's gone to a couple of 3-2 counts already this inning. And he's got a 2-2 count here. As that one's going to be low. So it's going to be this 3-2 count now this inning. And I don't know what to say about that, really. He needs to do a better job of getting his pitches into the strike zone, really. All you really can say. Comes the 3-2, and the runners are on the move. He's going to walk him. And now the bases are loaded for the Diamond Hoppers with 2 outs.
Now batting the right fielder, number 12, John Metcalf.
So there's going to be a meeting at the mound here. Just going to go to a pitching change here, apparently.
Unicorns using their bullpen early.
So Nagum's day is done after just two-third inning of work. Can't speak today, apparently, as he leaves them loaded for the next pitcher. And Lane Gussler is going to be the new pitcher on the mound for the Utica Unicorns. He'll take over this bases loaded situation with 2 outs.
They may have the attention of all you chicken dancers out there.
Lane Gusler on the season is got a 5.55 ERA. Pitched in 11 and 1/3 innings with giving up 12 hits, 8 runs, and 5 walks. 12 strikeouts though. So up to this point, he hasn't pitched all that well for the Unicorns. Giving up at least a hit an inning, and it's just the same thing that same problem Sam Burton has is you just gotta give up less hits. That's all there is to it. You gotta throw more strikes, give up less hits if you want to be an effective pitcher.
And he's out of Woodhaven, Michigan.
Yet another Michigan native for the Unicorns, with Brandon Guilfoyle and Taylor Gilikowski both coming from Michigan as well. And the bases are loaded with 2 outs here in the top half of the 4th inning. The Hoppers currently trail it 3-2 thanks to the solo shot the last half inning from Mike Rampone. But they have a chance to not only tie the game but take the lead back here in the top.
On this humid Sunday afternoon.
Humid, not only humid, just hot in general. The 91-degree temperature and the clear blue skies really beaming the sun down on people as you see many fans in the stands with using their programs as fans. And yet lots of fans over there in the concert venue in right field just huddled over together in the shade. But it hasn't deterred some of them, and some of them are still on the hill over there in right field just enjoying the sunlight.
The shade's definitely the best friend
for
today.
John Mankin will step in. He is 1 for 1 today as a walk and a base hit. And the first pitch that Lane Gusler throws will be a ball, 1-0.
Definitely got to be careful here. If the base is loaded.
The 1-0 pitch is going to drive that one to right center field, and that's going to get down for at least a ground rule double as that's going to get over the wall. So it's going to score 2 runs. And that's going to give the Diamond Hoppers a 4-3 lead here in the top of the 4th. So ground rule double from John Mankin reclaims the lead for the Hoppers. So now Nate Farrell will step in. He has an RBI double back in the 3rd inning. And he can extend the lead further now for the Hoppers with runners at 2nd and 3rd base. After that ground rule double from John Mankin drives in 2 runs. Both of those runs, however, will be attributed to Brandon Nagum because these runs for Gusler are inherited. The first pitch to Nate Farrell will be a ball, 1-0. So, with 2 outs and bases loaded, John Mankin gets it done. And that's going to be a base hit up the middle, and that's going to score at least 1 more run. They're going to wave Mankin around 3rd base, and he's going to come in to score. So that's going to be 2 more runs as Nate Farrell will get in with a 2 RBI double.
The Hoppers are very active this inning.
Yes, they are. They've scored now 4 runs. All of those are earned runs for Brandon Nagum. No, 3 of them are, and 1 of them is for Lane Gusler. So the relief pitching that was so dominant yesterday for the Unicorns has come in today and just kind of fallen apart at the seams as the Hoppers have just been hitting it left and right against them. So Chris Power will step in. He is 0 for 0 today. He was hit by a pitch in the 1st and drew a walk in the 3rd, so doesn't have an official at-bat today in his 2 plate appearances. 0-1 on him now. So 2 consecutive doubles will drive in 4 earned runs and give the Hoppers a 6-3 lead here in the top of the 4th inning. 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed. Big rip there from Power, and it's going to be a strike 0-2. That's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. This should end the inning, but not before the Hoppers get 4 runs to reclaim the lead, and they now lead at 6-3. So we go to the bottom of the 4th inning where due up for the Unicorns will be center fielder Brandon Raw, right fielder Chris Cruz, and first baseman Clay Artizer. And they'll look to retaliate and get some of these runs back in this back and forth Sunday afternoon game. So please stay tuned. Brendan Raw will lead it off here in the top half, or the bottom half of the 4th inning. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler here on this beautiful yet hot Sunday afternoon baseball game. Hoppers have a 6-3 lead after they scored 4 runs in the top half of the inning. First pitch to Raw is outside, 1-0 now. Mike Stafford still out there on the mound in his debut with the USPBL. As that one is fouled off, 1-1 now.
There's definitely action in the Hoppers bullpen, though.
He's already given up 3 earned runs, so I can't imagine him going that much deeper into the ball game. But they probably want him to get at least 4 in before they have to resort to the bullpen. And Raw's going to call time, but not before Stafford delivers the pitch anyways. The 1-1 pitch. It's going to be high and away. 2-1 now. And in case you're just now tuning in, the Hoppers got out to a 1-0 lead back in the 1st inning thanks to a fielder's choice RBI from Gomez. And then it's been back and forth since, with the Unicorns taking the lead with a 2-run home run in the 2nd from Guilfoyle. And then the Hoppers tying it back up with a RBI double of their own, and the Unicorns getting the lead again with a solo shot. And then last inning, the Hoppers reclaiming the lead yet again thanks to 4 RBIs, 2 of which came from John Mankin and 2 from Nate Farrell. So it's been a back and forth game as it's 3-2 now on Brandon Raw. As that pitch is going to be away, and it's going to be a walk with no outs for Brandon Raw. His 2nd of the ball game already.
Number 4, Chris Cruz. Chris was a 3-time all-time selection at Bayshore High School. He was named All-County twice and team captain in his junior and senior year. As a senior, he actually threw a no-hitter and twice was named MVP.
So Chris Cruz will step in now, the left-handed batter. Struck out swinging his first time up. Ooh, and he has to duck out of the way of the first pitch as it nearly hit him. So it's going to be a ball, 1-0. As Figueroa's going to go out there and have a quick chat with Stafford. Probably get on the same page, calm him down. Comes the 1-0. Way outside, 2-0. You're going to throw down a first and try to get him, but because Figueroa had to go so outside his box to get the ball, he didn't really have a chance at Brandon Raw down there at first. Comes the, nope, they're going to throw down a first, and Raw's going to get back in safely. So pickoff attempt is unsuccessful. It's casual looking, so probably just to hold him over there at first base. The 2-0 pitch will be high and inside, 3-0. Stafford's been keeping a close eye on those runners at first base. He's got a really good pickoff move, and he's been really keeping those runners off balance all day today. And they've had to watch carefully. Many of times sliding back in, as that one's going to be a 4-pitch walk for Chris Cruz. And 2 walks to start the inning will have runners at first and second for the Unicorns.
Now batting the first baseman, number 44, Lenny Ardeezer.
So Paul Nochi will come out to the mound as they're going to have a meeting. And that's probably going to be it for Mike Stafford, as they're going to go to the bullpen. He goes just 3 innings pitched, with 3 hits against him, 4 walks, and just 3 strikeouts. 2 home runs as well. Those came courtesy of Guilfoyle and Rampone. So it's going to be Ben Allison on the mound, the right-handed pitcher out of Botvia, Illinois, on the mound for the Hoppers. And he'll inherit 2 runners and no outs here in the bottom half of the 4th inning.
Allison does his 4 innings pitch, has given up 5 hits, has 2 strikeouts. His ERA is 14.54, and 2.77 is his whip.
So he hasn't really pitched that well lately, but he's only pitched 4 innings, so small sample size, he could turn that around with just 1 good outing. And with a 6-3 lead for his baseball team and 2 runners on base inherited, he has a really good opportunity to do that today. So Clay Artizer will step in with a chance to cut down on this deficit here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 2 men on and no outs in the bottom of the 4th. His team currently trailing 6-3 after the 4-run top of the inning for the Hoppers. First pitch Artizer sees is going to be a ball, 1-0.
Artizer hitting 269. Has some power in his bat. Has a homer. 14 hits. 6 RBIs.
He struck out looking his first time up, and on a pitch that he definitely did not agree with, as that's going to be a ball, 2-0. From up here, it looked like it was outside, but the ump called it a strike, and Artizer clearly thought it was outside as well, as he did not appreciate that call. Currently 2-0 in this at-bat. Here comes the pitch. Be low and inside. 3-0 now on Artizer. Ben Allison inheriting 2 runners from Mike Stanford here in the 4th inning. As that one's going to get away from Artizer, and that's going to walk the bases loaded. So 3 walks to start the inning have loaded the bases. 2 walks from Stafford, and now 1 from Allison. So Guilfoyle will step in with No outs and bases loaded, and he already has a 2-run home run today and a chance to really do some damage right in this at bat. Comes the first pitch to Guilfoyle. In there for a strike, 0-1. Guilfoyle absolutely demolished a changeup right in the middle of the zone, and his last time up for a 2-run home run, not hitting it off the light pole out there in left center. Sounds going to get away from Figueroa for a ball, 1-1.
As Figueroa tells Ellison just to calm down.
The 1-1 pitch swung on and tipped foul. 1-2 now on Guilfoyle. Bases loaded here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Unicorns trail it 6-3 with no outs. And a chance to really cut down on this deficit here. Hoppers got out to a 6-3 lead in this last half inning thanks to 2 RBIs from John Mankin and Nate Farrell. As that one is fouled in the stands. Remain 1-2 now. The 1-2 pitch is going to be swung and grounded fouled on the first base line. So, Guilfoyle doing a good job staying alive here. Going first to third base, you got Artizer at first base, Cruz at second, and Raw at third. All of which got on thanks to walks. As the 1-2 is fouled into the screen.
Doing a great job of staying alive.
He's fouling pitches off left and right, waiting on the pitch he wants. As Guilfoyle will call for time. The 1-2 pitch is going to be swung on and missed, and Ben Allison's going to get him on strikes. And so now the bases will be loaded with 1 out after Guilfoyle strikes out for Tim Budd. Tim Budd with a base hit his last time up, but eventually got picked off at first with not much of a real effort to get back on. That was thanks to Mike Stafford's fantastic pickoff move.
That'll be Ellison's 3rd strikeout of the season.
First pitch Bud sees is going to be a strike, 0-1. Comes the 0-1. Down and away. 1-1 now. The 1-1 is going to be in for a ball. 2-1 now. Almost got away from Figueroa. Good job stopping that one. Two-one pitch is fouled off. 2-2 now. Tim Budd has a chance to play hero here in the bottom of the 4th and get his first RBIs of the season. He still has none to speak of, but with runners at second and third, he can make a difference here. It's a consistent breeze in the ballpark today. Seems like it's been going on constantly since the first inning. Mostly going left field to right field as Bud calls for time.
Still hot though out there.
You got hot out there most of the day, I'd assume, as long as the sun's up, Dan. As that one's going to be outside for a ball. 3-2. The 3-2 pitch in the netting. Remain 3-2. 3-2 count, 1 out. Bases loaded for the Unicorns. They trail 6-3 here in the bottom half of the fourth inning.
Seen many 3-2 counts here in this ball game. Hard to count.
Yes, there has. A lot of them came from Sam Burton, as that one's grounded over to the third baseman. He's going to throw it on to first and get him. But that's only going to get 1 out, and a run will score, so that cuts down the deficit to make it 6-4 now. So it'll be a fielder's choice RBI for Tim Budd. Or I'm sorry, a ground out. I don't know what I'm saying here. 5-3 ground out and score a run. Make it 6-4. Quentin Alexander's up to the plate now. He walked his last time up. Runners at second and third. Good base hit here. Could tie the ball game. The 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. 1-1. Comes the 1-1. Swung on and missed by Alexander. And Ben Allison's 1 strike away from keeping the bleeding to a minimum here. He came on with no outs and bases loaded. He's given up a run, which will be Mike Stafford's earned run. And he's going to fly that one foul, so remain 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. High and inside. 2-2 now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Men at second and third. 6-4 ball game in favor of the Hoppers. Two pitch is grounded over to the shortstop, Castro. He throws down to first and gets him. So Ben Allison keeps the bleeding to a minimum. Unicorns do get 1 back, but they still trail at 6-4. Going to the top of the 5th inning, where due up for them will be Mark Kruger, the DH. Following him will be the catcher Figueroa and center fielder Kraft. So we'll be back shortly. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the fifth inning, where the Unicorns trail it 6-4. The Hoppers are up to bat here, and Mark Kruger's going to lead it off. Lane Gussler back on the mound after getting the final out in the last inning. 1-0 on Kruger now after that first pitch to a missed. That one in there for a ball, 2-0.
Hoppers are coming off of a huge fourth inning.
Yeah, a ground rule double from John Mankin drove in 2 RBIs, and then a base hit with drove in 2 RBIs for Nate Farrell, as that one's grounded fouled on the first base line. 2-1 now on Kruger.
Maybe they can keep that trend going here in the fifth.
Two-one pitch is in for a ball. 3-1 now on Kruger. Through-one pitch is going to be grounded up the middle. Rampone's over to get it. Throw it down to Artizer. Gets him at first base, and Mark Kruger will go down.
Great throw there from his knees.
So Kyle Figueroa will step in now. He is 1 for 2 today. He had a base hit and came around to score in the last inning. First pitch to him from Lane Gussler. Outside for a ball, 1-0. One-0 pitch is swung on and missed. Big rip there from Figueroa. So it's going to go to 1-1. Comes the 1-1, showing bunt. He's going to bunt it right back to the mound, and Gussler's just going to throw it down to Artizer at first and get him. So 2 up, 2 down for Gussler here in the fifth inning.
Now batting the center fielder, number 24, John Kraft. John majored in sports journalism and history.
John Kraft will step in now with 2 outs here in the top of the fifth.
And cites his parents as the most influential people in his life.
First pitch to Kraft is going to be swung on and missed. 0-1. One pitch going to be in there. Paint at the corner on that one. 0-2. Gussler about to have a great bounce back inning after giving up 4 runs in the fourth inning, but only one of them was earned, as that's a ball, 1-2. He came in inheriting the bases loaded. Gave up a double and a base hit to score 4 runs, only one of which was earned for him, though. And that one's going to be grounded over to Alexander at short. Throw down to Artizer is going to get him. So great bounce back inning by Lane Gussler to go 1-2-3 in order against the Unicorns. And we go to the bottom of the fifth inning, where due up for the Unicorns will be Taylor Gilakowski, following him, Mike Rampone and Luke Doyle. We've played half a game of ball here, and Hoppers lead it 6-4. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the fifth inning after a 1-2-3 top. Taylor Galikowski's 0 for 1 today. He was hit by a pitch in his first at bat and hit into a double play back in the third. Ben Allison returns to the mound. Gave up 1 earned run in the bottom of the fourth inning. As that pitch is going to be in there for a ball, 1-0. And he's going to drive that one into left field, not very deep. And both Castro and Power are going to converge, and neither are going to make the catch. So Galikowski's going to get all the way to second on the play. And that'll go in as a double for Taylor Galikowski as he kind of bloops that one in there down the third base line. Mike Rampone steps in now. He's got a solo shot back in the third, gave his team the lead at the time. They currently trail 6-4, though. Taylor Galikowski down there at second base. He has a chance to help cut this deficit down. Mike Rampone can get a base hit. That'll drive Galikowski home.
Rampone's been very active today.
Galikowski's got a lot of speed out there at second base. And, yeah, Rampone's been very active with that solo shot. Line drive home run right over the wall. As he grounds that one over to the third baseline. Foul, though, so it'll go to 1-1. So after sprinting as hard as he could down to first base, he's going to slowly walk back to the to home plate. So it'll be 1-1 on him. The 1-1 pitch to Rampone is going to be in there for a strike, 1-2. Great movement on that 88-mile-an-hour pitch. Caught the outside corner. 1-2 pitch will be outside. 2-2 now on him. Count is even. From over here in the press box, I can actually see a lot of kids playing in that wiffle ball field out there.
I was just going to mention that, Brian.
Oh, I read your mind, as
Yes,
it's
you
3-2 now on Mike Rampone.
It's great to see that getting in use.
There's actually a huge line, it looks like, for next at bat down there. Not a very big field, so not a lot of players can be on the field at the same time. As that one's popped up on the edge of the outfield. And Stewart's going to lose it in the sun, and he's going to drop that. And so that'll go down as an error. First error of the ball game for either team. And check that. They're going to count that as a base hit. So men on first and second with no outs here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Unicorns trail it 6-4. Luke Doyle steps in. He's 0 for 2 today. And that'll go in as a strike, 0-1.
Cam Stewart probably wishes he had some shades on.
Yeah, it surprises me how many players don't wear sunglasses. I mean,
It's hard to see from here. You might have them on. I don't know. But definitely you need shades on a day like this.
that one gets in there for a strike, 0-2 now on Luke Doyle. I mean, some players just don't wear them for comfort reasons, and I just if I was down there, I'd definitely be wearing a pair of shades just because that sun is coming down so brightly, and especially around when the game started back at 1:30. You know, the sun was still like pretty much directly above you. The 0-2 pitch is going to be swung foul on the first base line. Remain 0-2.
Now he'll get a pair of shades on from help from a bench player on his team.
So, yeah, like you just mentioned, he threw a pair of sunglasses on now, and he looks up to the sun going, I could have caught that now. It happens sometimes, unfortunately, though. As Luke Doyle still waits on the 0-2 pitch. Ben Allison finally decides on what he wants to throw. The kick and the pitch. Swung on and missed by Luke Doyle. Big swing, goes down on strikes. That'll be the second strikeout for Ben Allison in this relief appearance. So with 1 down and 2 on, Brandon Raw will step in. He's walked in both his plate appearances so far today. Looks to do some damage against Allison, try and cut this deficit down, as he's going to fly that one for a base hit into right field. And Taylor Galikowski is going to stop at third base. And so bases will be loaded for the Unicorns for the second consecutive inning. And
Hopefully
Chris
they can
Cruz,
do something here.
Yeah, let's hope so. They were able to drive 1 run in last inning. Chris Cruz will step in with a 0-1 on today. Walked his last time up. The first pitch to Cruz is coming in. Going to be in there for a ball, 1-0. Bases are loaded with 1 out for the Unicorns. They can tie the game on a ground ball base hit through the 5.5 hole. Mike Rampone, the second baseman, out there at, second. 2-0. He's got enough speed out there to come home if the ball gets through just right. Infield shift going on as well. And that one's going to be fouled into the netting, 2-1. As Castro's moved over to play more or less straight away behind second base. And the second baseman, Stewart, is over there between where normally there would be no one standing between the second and the first baseman. Center fielder John Kraft is a little more off to the right out there in center field. As that pitch is going to be a ball, 3-1. Three-and-one pitch is flied foul into the stands behind home plate. So it's going to be a full count now with 1 out and bases loaded for the Utica Unicorns. Chris Cruz looking to drive in some runs and cut down this deficit here. The bottom of the 5th. The 3-2 pitch. He's going to walk in a run. And it's going to be a 6-5 ball game now.
And a couple of cheers from the fans.
Now batting the first baseman, number 44, Clay Ardeezer. Big Sports Will was winning the first conference tournament championship game for Georgia College
So
in 2013.
Clay Artizer will step in. He's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout and a walk. Bases are still loaded with a 1 out, and it's now a 6-5 ball game. One and 0 on Clay Artizer. The 1-0 pitch is going to be swung and driven into left center field, right to the gap, and Kraft has a long run, and he's not going to make it, and that's going to go off the wall, and that's going to score at least, as that one gets over the wall, it'll be a ground rule double. So it'll score 2 runs for the Unicorns, and they have now taken the lead 7-6 in the bottom half of the 5th inning.
Back and forth ball game we have here.
Indeed it is. So a ground rule double from Clay Artizer will plate 2 runs and give the lead back to the Unicorns. So Chris Cruz will be at third, and Clay Artizer will be at second for Brendan Guilfoyle as he steps in with 1 out here, and now 7-6 lead for the Utica Unicorns. Defense playing a bit shallow. He's going to ground that one into foul territory. Whoa, and Chris Cruz coming in from third base nearly plows over the umpire. But since that ball goes foul, he's going to have to retreat back to third base. 0-1 on Guilfoyle. He actually hit that pitch originally into fair territory, but it bounced on the into the infield grass into foul territory. As Ben Allison decides on a pitch, comes the 0-1. And they're for a ball, 1-1 now. This game was a 6-4 lead for the Diamond Hoppers coming into the bottom half of this inning, but the Unicorns have scored 3, capped off from the Clay Artizer 2 RBI double. A swing and a miss by Guilfoyle, big cut there, 1-2 now. Guilfoyle had a 2-run home run back in the second. Gave the Unicorns the lead at the time before the Diamond Hoppers eventually came back and scored 4 of their own. As that one is driven foul down the first base line. So Guilfoyle nearly adding on to the lead.
The Hoppers do have some action in their bullpen. It's a lefty.
So 1-2 count now on Brandon Guilfoyle. Devin Alexander warming up for the Hoppers over there in the bullpen. The 1-2 pitch is going to be flied into shallow right field. Stewart called off and Macon makes the catch, and that's going to allow the run from third to score as he tagged up. A good throw from Macon out there in right field, but Stewart just barely beat it out. So a sac fly RBI will tag on another run and make it 8-6 Unicorns. Meeting at a mound now, and looks like we're going to have a pitching change as Devin Alexander will come in after Ben Alexander goes 1 2/3 innings.
Definitely been a back and forth ball game here, Brian.
That's for sure. Started off with the Hoppers getting lead, then the Unicorns got the lead, then the Hoppers got the lead, then the Unicorns got the lead. Just goes back and forth either way. If you're just tuning in, the Hoppers got the lead back in the first with a fielder's choice RBI. Then the Unicorns took the lead off a 2-run home run from Brandon Guilfoyle. Went back to the Hoppers with two RBI double from Nate Farrell. Then the Unicorns tied it up with a solo shot, making it 3-3. Then the Hoppers scored 4 runs in the bottom of the the top of the fourth inning. A 2 RBI double from Macon and a 2 RBI single from Nate Farrell. Made it 6-3. And a RBI ground out for Tim Budd, and now 2 RBI double and sac fly RBI give the Unicorns a 8-6 lead.
Now pitching for the Diamond Humpers, like you said, Brian, is Devin Alexander. He has 13 innings pitched this season. Does have a win. Has given up 13 hits. Has 11 strikeouts. He's given up 6 runs. His ERA is 4.15. WHIP is 162.
Devin Alexander taking over for Ben Allison on the mound. And Dan, Ben Allison only goes 1 2/3 innings pitched with 4 hits, 4 earned runs so far against him, as the runner at second is inherited. So it could be up as many as 5. And 2 walks and only 1 strikeout. So not an ideal outing for him.
Not at all.
Not how he wanted to go at all. And the first pitch to Tim Budd is going to be in there for a ball, 1-0. Pitch is going to be grounded over to the third baseman. Actually, got shortstop Castro got it, throws down to first, and gets him to end the inning. So the Unicorns score 4 runs to take the lead. 8-6 here in the bottom of the 5th. So we go to the top of the 6th inning when the Hoppers are due up, and let's see if this game continues to go back and forth as it has so far, where Castro's going to lead it off. Following him will be the second baseman, Cam Stewart, and the first baseman, Esteban Gomez. So we'll be back shortly with more. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the 6th inning, where due up for the Hoppers is Ricky Castro. We do have a pitching change, however. Lane Gussler is out after going 1 1/3 innings pitched, and Dan did a pretty good job out there on the mound. He gave up 2 hits and 1 earned run. No walks, no strikeouts. Unfortunately, though, those 2 hits he did have ended up driving in 4 runs because they were a double and a base hit for 4 RBI. So kind of unfortunate for him, but they weren't against him. They were inherited from Brandon Nagum. So he only has 1 earned run with no walks, no strikeouts, only 2 hits. So, and his last inning went 1-2-3. So pretty good inning overall. So now Seth McWilliams is on the mound. In 8 innings pitched, he has a 3.37 ERA, and he's currently 1-1 against Castro. Castro is 1 for 3 today with an infield single, and that one almost hits him, and it's going to go to 2-1 on him now.
Seth McWilliams out of Rolla, Missouri.
One of the few guys I feel that are from the southern states. We have a lot of guys from Michigan and a lot of guys out west, but not many from the south, as the 2-1 pitch is going to be outside, 3-1 now.
He did his college ball at Arkansas State University.
Comes the 3-1. In there for a strike. 3-2 now. Three-two pitch, swung on and flied foul. So count will be full now, with no outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Comes the 3-2. Swung foul into the stands behind home plate. So Rick Castro doing a good job of staying alive here. His first plate appearance today, he hit for an infield single. Clay Artizer made a diving attempt over there at first base. It just bounced off his glove, unfortunately. As that one's going to be in there for a ball, and after a 3-2 count, he'll reach on a walk.
Now batting the second baseman, number 2, Cam Stewart.
So Cam Stewart will step in now. He's 2 for 3 today, 2 base hits. Came around a score last time up in the 4th inning. First pitch from Stewart is a line drive base hit right up the middle. And Castro is going to stop at second base. So 2 outs. Now we have 2 men on for the Hoppers. As we've had a back and forth game, I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple runs plated here.
Growing up, Escondido idolized Manny Ramirez and likes to tap into his creative side by drawing in his spare time.
So Esteban Gomez will step in.
Attended San Jacinto College, where he was a career .327 hitter.
Gomez is 0 for 2 today. He has a fielder's choice and an RBI, and drew a walk his last time up. He's got runners at first and second with no outs and a chance to cut down on this deficit, as that one gets in there for a strike, 0-1. Comes the 0-1 pitch. Try to hit the same spot with that, but just a little bit outside, so 1-1. Comes the 1-1. High and away. 2-1 now on Esteban Gomez. 2-1 count with no outs and men on first at second. The Unicorns currently lead at 8-6 over the Hoppers, so the Hoppers are trying to get back in this one. Hot day at the ballpark, 91 degrees, as the 2-1 is going to be inside. 3-1 now.
You can always tell when McWilliams is on the mound. He's got that sidearm pitch style.
Yeah, he's got a very unique arm slot. Not many pitchers in this league have that arm slot. And that's helped him get to where he's at with that 3.37 ERA. Comes the 3-1. Ooh, in there for a strike. Count is full, 3-2. Second 3-2 count of the inning for Esteban Gomez. Seth McWilliams.
Gomez is at the bat, though.
Yes, and Gomez actually has already had 2 3-2 counts on him. So this is his third 3-2 count. As he swings and misses and goes down on strikes. And good pitch there from Seth McWilliams. A fastball away gets him. John Mencken will step in now with men on first and second and now 1 out. Double play could end it for Seth McWilliams.
Mencken's been very active today for the Hoppers.
Yeah, he's 2 for 2 today. He's got a walk on the first, a base hit, and came around to score in the 3rd inning. and had a 2 RBI double in the 4th and eventually came around to score again. So he has been definitely one of the most active players for the Hoppers today. So he checks his swing on that one. Appeal down to the umpire. He says he did not go, so 1-0. Comes the 1-0. Outside, 2-0 now. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Ooh, broken bat on the play, and he's going to foul that one into the stands. So it's going to be 2-1 now on Mankin.
A new piece of lumber for him.
His bat broke in half, and the top half of his bat made it all the way to the shallow outfield and left field. It's got to be scary not only for the batter, but for any of those fielders out there who have to dodge out of the way of that bat coming at them. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. It's going to be way inside. Mankin's going to have to dodge out of the way of that one. So it's going to be 3-1 now. And Seth McWilliams comes out of the bullpen struggling with his command, getting himself into 3 ball counts now. We haven't seen a whole lot of pitchers today who have really done well with their command. We've seen a lot of 3-2 counts. Seems like they're all struggling to throw strikes. As the 3-1 pitch comes in, way inside. Mankin dodges out of the way of that one and gets walked. So the bases will be loaded now with 1 out.
Definitely will be a mound visit here. Unicorns.
As Jim Essien will walk out to the mound. This might be just to give the reliever out in the bullpen more time to relax. Or warm up, I mean. And no, we're going to have a pitching change here. As Nate Farrell looks to stand in. So Seth McWilliams only manages to go 1/3 of an inning here.
Unicorns have already used 4 pitchers in this ball game, now being the 5th.
Unicorns, yesterday the story was how good their pitching was, and today they can't get one pitcher to go, seems 1 full inning. Lane Gussler goes 1 1/3, Brandon Avon goes 2/3, and now Seth McWilliams just goes 1/3 of an inning. So the umpire and Jim Essien are going to check the rosters as this pitcher on the mound is new to USPBL. Number 1 he wears.
Brandon White.
Brandon White is apparently his name. He's not on the version of the rosters we have. So he's new to the league, probably making his debut, I'd imagine, unless he debuted in a closed game. But Seth McWilliams goes 1/3 of an inning with 1 hit and 2 walks, 1 strikeout, and earned runs to be determined. It's up to Brandon White now to get the last 2 outs of this inning and make sure the Unicorns still have a lead going into the bottom of the 6th.
From Chicago, Illinois. Brandon White.
And we just got confirmation. It is his USPBL debut. Brandon White, like you just said, Dan, is from Chicago, Illinois. So he'll inherit the bases loaded for the Diamond Hoppers. Brandon Waite has played in 2 separate independent leagues before coming to the USPBL. As he looks to make his first pitch in the league right here. First pitch he throws is going to be a ball high to Nate Farrell, 1-0. And Nate Farrell is quite the opponent to come out facing. He's hot today. He has an RBI double and a single, accumulating 3 RBIs on the day. As the second pitch to Nate Farrell is a ball, 2-0.
And that pitch was 93 on the gun.
So he throws hot, but so far hasn't thrown a strike. Here comes the 2-0. High and outside again, 3-0. 91 miles an hour again. So he's got velocity, but does he have command is the question now. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. That one's in there for a strike at 88 miles an hour, 3-1. Comes the 3-1 pitch. Swung and driven into left field. That'll get down, a fair ball. And no, the umpire calls that a foul ball.
That was very close there.
I thought that landed on the line. The home plate umpire determined that was a foul ball, so it'll go to 3-2 now on Nate Farrell. That was drilled on the third base line and
just barely getting out, foul.
Yeah, just barely foul. So a 3-2 count with 1 out, bases loaded. Drills that one up the middle. Raw's going to come in. Looks like he's going to make the catch. Castro's going to tag, and he's going to try and come in. He'll turn back and retreat back to home plate. Won't test the arm, and that was good decision there.
What a throw by Raw.
As Brandon Raw threw a rocket of a throw from center field and would have gotten Castro, I'd imagine. So we're going to have kids on the bases after this inning ends. Because of the length of the game, we're having the kids on the bases at the end of this inning.
I mean, yeah, this game has been dragging on, Brian.
An 8-6 ball game. It's been lots of hits both ways. So Chris Power steps in with bases still loaded and an 8-6 lead for the Unicorns. And that's going to be a ball low, 1-0 now on him. Comes the 1-0 pitch. Way outside. 2-0. To a pitch is drilled over into right field. Cruz is going to make the catch and end the inning. So the Hoppers get the bases loaded with no outs, but do not manage to score.
Great job by Brandon White coming in and getting out of it.
Yeah, Brandon White came in with 1 out and got the next 2 guys out in his USPBL debut to maintain the Unicorns' 8-6 lead. So we'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning, where due up for the Unicorns will be Quentin Alexander, Taylor Galikowski, and Mike Rampone. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the 6th inning, where the Hoppers are trailing 8-6 to the Unicorns in what has been a back and forth game. Hits on both sides, Dan, just coming from everywhere.
Yes, they are.
No pitcher seems to be able to really command the ball today, as we've seen lots of 3-2 counts, no strike zones, unfortunately, as Quentin Alexander sees a ball on his first pitch from Devin Alexander. Devin Alexander came in relief to get the last out in the last inning.
We have seen quite a few homers in this ball game as well.
As that one's foul into the territory, and Gomez cannot get over to get it. So it's 0-2 now. 1-1. And it's Alexander versus Alexander matchup right now as Quentin Alexander faces off against Devin Alexander.
Let's see which one's better.
They are not related. Just going to get that out of the way now.
Yep.
If you know what either of them looks like. They don't look related at all. And it's going to be 1-2 now against Quentin Alexander. I guess I have to specify Quentin and Devin. Quentin Alexander being the batter and Devin the pitcher. Comes the 1-2 pitch. Outside, count will fall to 2 apiece. The 2-2 pitch is going to be grounded over to the mound, and Alexander's going to get it and throw out Quentin Alexander at first. So Alexander triumphs in the battle against Alexander. And Taylor Gilikowski steps in. And yes, Dan, that was intentional. Taylor Gilikowski hit for a double his last time up and came around to score. First pitch he sees, he grounds over to the second baseman, Cam Stewart. Quick toss over to first, going to get him. So 2 up, 2 down here for Devin Alexander in the bottom half of the 6th inning. So Mike Rampone will step in. And Dan, he's having himself quite a day, too. He's 2 for 3, and he has a solo shot today.
Yep.
That was the line drive solo shot over the wall out in left field. That was Mike Rampone's first home run in the season as well. As he skies this one to center field, Kraft just takes a couple steps back and makes the catch, and we're going to have a quick 1-2-3 inning for the Utica or the Eastside Diamond Hoppers as Devin Alexander goes in order. So we're going to go to the top of the 7th inning, where due up for the Hoppers will be Mark Kruger, the DH. Following him, the catcher Kyle Figueroa, and John Kraft, the center fielder. So we'll be back shortly with more. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the 8th inning, where due up for the Hoppers is Mark Kruger. Brendan White retakes the mound after getting the last 2 outs in the last inning, and getting the
that bases loaded jam.
getting the Unicorns out of that bases loaded jam.
And by the way, Brian, it's the 7th inning.
Did I
Not
say
the-
6th?
You said the 8th.
Or the 8th? It's just wishful thinking, I suppose. As the first pitch, Kruger is going to be a strike 0-1.
It's been one of very long games here.
It has been, and it's just been lots of hits for both teams today. The second pitch is going to be in there for a strike, 0-2. Comes the 0-2 pitch. In there for a strike, and on 3 pitches, Brandon White's going to strike out Mark Kruger looking.
And his first strikeout in his USPBL career.
Yes, it is, Dan. And Kyle Figueroa is going to step in with 1 out here in the top half of the 7th inning. And just a reminder, we're going to be running the bases after this inning due to the length of the game. So it'll be an extended break after the 7th inning. As that first pitch that Figueroa sees, he lines into right field for a base hit. Second base hit for him on the day. Got himself a 2-hit day. As John Kraft will step in now. He's 0 for 3 today. So 1 out, 1 man on in the top of the 7th inning. His Unicorns currently leading 8-6. And that was the Hoppers' 10th hit on the ball game. Brendan White takes a quick look down to first, threatens to throw down. You're going to say he balked. So Kyle Figueroa will take second. So now, thanks to the balk from Brandon White, with 1 on, there's a man at second base, and the Hoppers have a chance to cut down on this deficit if John Kraft can bring him home. 1-0 now on Kraft. One pitch will be inside for a ball, 2-0. That pitch will be outside, 3-0 now. Yet another 3-ball count on a pitcher or a batter today. I've seen a ton of those on both sides.
Yes, we have. Too many to count.
And that'll be in there for a strike. 3-1 now on John Kraft.
Well, at least I lost count, that is.
Yeah, seriously. John Kraft grounded out to the shortstop Alexander his last time up. Comes the 3-1 pitch. That one's going to be fouled into the stands. 3-2 now. So 3-2, men on second, and 1 out here in the bottom half of this, or top half of the 7th inning, as that one's fouled into the netting behind home plate. If you're just tuning in, it's an 8-6 lead in favor of the Unicorns. They were trailing 6-3, and they've come back to score 5 consecutive runs to take the lead. Comes the 3-2 pitch. Outside for a ball. He's going to walk him. So a man at first and second with 1 out here for Ricky Castro. Castro is 1 for 3 today. He walked his last time up. So Kyle Figueroa down there at second. John Kraft just reached on a walk. So Ricky Castro will step in, batting left-handed. So the first pitch he sees is a ball, 1-0. Rampone's going to come in and have a quick chat with Brandon White, calm him down. This is the USPBL debut today. He got his team out of a bases-loaded jam in the last inning. Looks to get out of his own jam here. Comes the 1-0 pitch. Swung and fouled in the netting, 1-1. Castro came into today's ball game, Dan, batting a strong 365 with 19 hits. Strange thing, though, no home runs. He's definitely a contact hitter, not much power in his bat, but gets a lot of them out for base hits.
Just finds a way to get on.
As he swings and misses at that one, 1-2. You say that, yet he only has 3 walks in the season. He's a base hit machine when it comes down to it. Here comes the 1-2. Swung on and missed, and Castro's down on strikes as Bud thought about he had to throw it down to first, but apparently not. It'll be the second strikeout this inning for Brandon White, and men on first and second with 2 outs now for Cam Stewart. Cam Stewart being Steve's pick of the game for player of the game. He has 3 base hits today, so he's putting himself in a good position if he can get an RBI here to possibly get that player of the game. I picked Taylor Galikowski. He's doing better than he is, and Dan picked Ricky Castro. So I'd have to say Cam Stewart's definitely got the lead on player of the game out of any of those guys. He swings and misses at the first pitch, 0-1.
Oh, man.
Well, it's possible we're all going to be wrong, too, because none of our guys that we picked have RBI yet today. Guilfoyle has 3 RBI, and so does Nate Farrell. Comes the 0-1 pitch. It's going to be inside for a ball, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch is grounded over to the second baseman, Rampone. He'll throw it on to first and get him. And Brandon White gets out of the inning. And we've played 6.5 innings here as we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. We're due up for the Unicorns. Will be Luke Doyle, following him, Brandon Raw, and Chris Cruz. So it's still an 8-6 lead in favor of the Unicorns, and we'll be back shortly with more. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the 7th inning where Luke Doyle is set to lead it off. Devin Alexander retakes the mound. He's done good work in relief so far. He came in, got the last out in the 5th inning, and went 1-2-3 in the 6th. First pitch of Doyle's going to be in there for a strike, 0-1. Doyle today is 0 for 3. He lined out to Gomez and Stewart, and then struck out his last time up, as that pitch is in there for a ball, 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-2. And this is turning into a long one here.
It is.
Isn't it, Dan? As it's just been lots of 3-2 counts, lots of base hits. It's this 8-6 ball game. Swing and a miss, and Luke Doyle goes down on strikes. And that's going to be the 5th consecutive out now for Devin Alexander.
His first strikeout in this ball game.
Actually, if I'm doing the math correctly, yeah, that's his 5th consecutive out. So Brandon Warhol will step in. He is 1 for 1 today. He has 2 walks and a base hit and came around to score once. So he's been finding ways to get on base. First pitch to him, he swings on and misses. 0-1. Alexander sets, pitches. It's going to be down low and underneath Figueroa. He's going to lose it, but with no man on base, no harm. So it'll just be a ball, 1-1 with 1 out now against the Unicorns. They currently lead this game 8-6. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. He's going to fly that one foul into the party patio in right field, actually on top of the Chevy tent. So it'll be 1-2 on him. And in a game that's been rough against pitchers, as that one is flown into right field, just shy of the warning track, makes the catch. And in a game that has been tough against pitchers, Devin Alexander has been a bright spot, as that is his now 6th consecutive out.
Wow.
So Devin Alexander is making good work out there on the mound. One of the only pitchers, I think pretty much the only pitcher who's done well today. Well, Brandon White, actually, on the other hand, has been doing a pretty good job. He hasn't been getting consecutive outs, but he's been doing good work in his USPBL debut to get through the innings. There's an extreme shift on this one, as you have Stewart out there playing shallow right field. Castro's over there playing where Stewart normally would, and Nate Farrell is playing where Castro would. Comes the 0-1 pitch to Cruz. 1-1.
And now you see a giant hole there at third.
Yeah, so they're betting on the fact that he'll follow his trend and hit it to the right side and pull it. 1-2 on Chris Cruz. And he's going to go down on strikes, and Devin Alexander's going to have himself another 1-2-3 inning, and that's going to be his 7th consecutive out. So we'll go to the top of the 8th inning where the Unicorns still lead it 8-6. There will be a stoppage in play now as the kids will run the bases, so it's going to be an extended break. But when we come back, due up will be Esteban Gomez. Following him will be John Mankin and Nate Farrell, so please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the 8th inning. And Esteban Gomez is up to bat. He is 0 for 3 today. He has a RBI because of a fielder's choice back all the way in the first inning. Struck out most recently, though. Pitching change on the mound. Brendan White's day is done. As the first pitcher, Gomez, is a ball high, 1-0.
And he did a great job.
He really did. He went 1 2/3 innings, Dan, with no hits and no earned runs. And really just 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. So he did a great job in his first appearance here in the USPBL. And so now it's, who's Seth Brenner on the mound?
Yep.
2-0 count against Gomez now. Brenner has 13 innings pitched with 3.46 ERA, so he's a good reliever out of the pen. As it's 2-1 now on Gomez.
We normally see him in the starting rotation as well.
Yeah, but they've gone through quite a few relievers already, so I'm not surprised they've had to dip into a little bit of starting pitching, as it's 2-2 now on Esteban Gomez. The 2-2 pitch is going to be inside for a ball. 3-2 count. First one for Seth Brenner, about the millionth one we've seen today. The 3-2 pitch is swung on and drilled over to the left field. Galikowski's going back and doesn't make the catch on the warning track. And Esteban Gomez is going to get all the way to second base because of that. So with no outs here in the top of the 8th and a man in scoring position, John Mankin will step in and try to cut down on this deficit. They currently trail by 2 runs, 8-6 ball game. It'll be a double for Gomez. First pitch Mankin sees is going to be way high and away. 1-0 now. And not many people left here at the ballpark as this game continues to drag on.
Well, the kids just ran their bases, so.
As that one's in for a ball, 2-0.
And plus it's hot outside, so.
Still plenty of people over there in the wiffle ball field as they're enjoying that.
Mm-hmm.
Two-0 pitch is in for a strike, 2-1. Comes the 2-1, foul tipped into the netting, 2-2. Esteban Gomez out there at second base. Two-two pitch. And then for a strike, he's going to strike him out looking, and Macon knew it. He didn't even argue with the ump. He just walked straight away as soon as that pitch came in. So that's going to be the first strikeout for Seth Brenner. So with 1 out, Nate Farrell will step in. He's got 3 RBIs on the ball game. Had a 2 RBI double back in the 3rd and an 2 RBI single in the 4th. He's currently 2 for 4 on the day. With a runner at second base, he has a chance for another RBI and cut this deficit down to 1 run. And it's actually going to be a pinch hitter. So Nate Farrell's out and Casey Chenoweth is in. Last time we saw the Hoppers, Casey Chenoweth hit a home run. Chenoweth batting .209 on the season with 1 home run and 9 hits. It's going to be a 2-0 on him now. That pitch is going to be outside. 3-0 now. Another 3-ball count. That'll get in there. 3-1 now. 3-1 count. Man on second and 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. It's an 8-6 ball game in favor of the Utica Unicorns. The 3-1 pitch is fouled in the netting, so 3-2 now. Seth Brenner just setting on a pitch. He finally picks one. Comes the delivery. The 3-2 pitch is foul tipped into the netting. Remain 3-2 now. Seth Brenner takes over from the mound after Brandon White goes 1 2/3 innings pitched in his USPBL debut. Does not give up a hit or an earned run, so I think he's probably quite proud of himself. Three-two pitch. It's going to be a ball. He's going to walk him. So there'll be 2 men on for Chris Power and 1 out here in the top of the 8th.
Not too much from Power this afternoon.
And yeah, Power is 0 for 2 today. He's got hit by a pitch and walked, and those are the only 2 ways he's gotten on today. As it's 1-0 against him now.
He is hitting .292, 14 hits, 3 home runs, and 11 RBIs.
So normally he hits a lot better than that,
Mm-hmm.
but today's just an off day for him, I suppose. As the 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed. Big hit, or big pitch, big swing there, and it's 1-1 against him. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, man on second and first. And his team down 8-6. 7 hits for the Unicorns and 11 for the Hoppers, yet they still trail. That one will be in there for a ball, 2-1. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. It's going to be inside. Another 3-ball count this inning. 3-1 now. That is the third 3-ball count that Seth Brenner has had. He went to 3-2 against Gomez before Gomez hit the double. Went 3-2 against Casey Chenoweth before he walked him. And now he's 3-1 against Chris Power. Comes the pitch. Way outside. He's going to walk him. So the bases are going to be loaded for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers with 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. Mark Kruger will step in. And there's going to be a pinch hitter here as Jeremy Scott will pinch hit for Mark Kruger.
And we're also going to have a pitching change.
As yet another Utica Unicorn doesn't go a full inning. In fact, only records 1 out.
Oh.
And Tom Constant will come in. And didn't we see him last night, Dan?
Yes, we did.
So not a whole lot of rest for Tom Constant.
He did a great job last night.
Yes, he did, as he ended up going 1 inning pitched, and it was a 1-2-3 inning. So let's hope he can come and lock it down tonight as well.
And he definitely has a lot of heat and also he's known for that high, kick at the very end of his pitching style.
He also hides his pitches very well too.
Mm-hmm.
So he's an effective reliever, and let's hope that he can remain that way. As I am out of space on my scorecard to write any more relievers down. He's going to inherit a bases-loaded jam with 1 out, and he's going to try and work out of it.
Been been a very long game, Brian.
Yes, it has. Tom Constant comes in with no earned runs on him in 9 innings pitched. 6 of his outs have come from a strikeout. Seth Brenner's done after 1/3 inning. 1 hit, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. That strikeout came against John Mankin, and he caught him looking. So Jeremy Scott will step in, pinch hitting for Mark Kruger. Swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. And bases are loaded with 1 out for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, and they trail 8-6. So this could be a turning point for them. They could reclaim the lead for about the 3rd time today, as this has been just nothing but a back-and-forth game. As that one's grounded over to the shortstop. Quick throw down to second and throw down to first, and he's going to get him. Great job by Tom Constant coming in relief. Takes him 2 pitches, the turn and double play, and the Diamond Hoppers have got to be so frustrated because they load the bases trailing by 2 and can't get anything done. So it's going to be an 8-6 lead for the Utica Unicorns going to the bottom of the 8th inning, where due up for the Unicorns will be Clay Artizer. Following that will be Brandon Guilfoyle and Timothy Budd. So we'll be back shortly. Please stay tuned. So welcome, everyone. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler here for the bottom of the 8th inning. 8-6 lead for the Utica Unicorns. And a couple of updates for you here as we have quite a few changes. First, the pitching change. Devin Alexander goes phenomenal. 2 1/3 innings pitched. 7 consecutive outs. Gets all batters he faced out. Great job by him. 2 strikeouts. Just phenomenal. Now Torrey DeShazier's in. And we've had some defensive changes, too, after the Hoppers pinch hit some people. So Kraft moves from center field to left field. Power moves from left field to catcher. And now Maroney is playing center field.
A lot of changes.
A lot of changes out there. As the first pitch Artizer sees from DeShazier is 1-0, a ball 1-0. 2-0 now.
DeShazier on the mound has 9.5 innings pitched. Has a record 1-1 of the season. Has given up 11 hits, 9 strikeouts, 8 earned runs, and has an ERA of 7.45 and a WHIP of 134.
The 2-0 pitch is grounded over to the shortstop, or second baseman, I apologize, and throw it on a first, gets him. So 1 up, 1 down for Torrey DeShazier.
Now back to third baseman, number 22, Brandon Guilfoyle.
So Brennan Guilfoyle will step in to face Torrey DeShazier. Guilfoyle had the 2-run home run all the way back in the second, and then a sac fly RBI in the fifth. So he's got 3 RBIs on the day. Here comes the first pitch. Outside, 1-0. Torrey DeShazier. I can still never pronounce that name, Dan. I don't know. DeShazier. There we go. Now I'm getting it. And the 1-0 is swung on and tipped foul, 1-1.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I finally got it right after like a month. Let's see if I can continue to get it right, though. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out against Brandon Larkin Guilfoyle. The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed. 1-2 now. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's going to be inside for a ball, 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. In there for a strike, and he's going to strike out looking. And that's the first strikeout for Torrey DeShazier.
Oh, I was proud of you for a minute.
I just got to say it slowly enough times where I can memorize that. That is just one that I can never get right. So Tim Budd will step in now. He is 1 for 3 today, has a base hit and an RBI.
You might have to meet up with DeShazier and talk to him how to pronounce his last name.
I'm probably going to have to, honestly. His first pitch he sees, he's going to ground up the middle. And Stewart can't corral it, so it's going to be an infield base hit.
And it would be an error.
So it'll be an E4 up that besides, or instead of a base hit. Quentin Alexander will step in. Last time up, he was bested by Devin Alexander, grounded out to the mound. He is 0 for 2 today. Drew a walk, though, back in the third inning. So 2 outs, man on first for Quentin Alexander. First pitch Alexander sees is a ball, 1-0. DeShazier sets. Here comes the pitch. He's going to sky that one into right field. Macon's going to get underneath it and make the catch on his knees. And he kind of sat there for a second, so I wondered if he was okay, but he got up and he's no worse for wear. So it's going to be an 8-6 lead going to the top of the ninth. Last call for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. And when we come back, leading off for the Hoppers will be Kyle Figueroa, John Kraft, and Ricky Castro. So stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the ninth inning, where due up for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers will be Joe Maroney. He is pinch hitting for Kyle Figueroa. And it's going to be a strike against Maroney now. Oh, 1 pitch is in for a strike, 0-2 now.
Last chance for the Hoppers.
Yes, it is. Last call. 0-2 pitch is going to be flied foul. So, going to remain 0-2 now.
It's been a back and forth ball game. A very long one.
Very long one indeed. We started at 1:35 and it's now 4:44, so we've played 3 hours of baseball, as that one is bounced in there for a ball, 1-2.
Usually how long an MLB game goes. That is.
And 2-2 now.
I don't know why I say MLB. I should just say Major League.
It works either way. We all get what you're saying, bud. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. He's going to drive that one to center field, but Raw's going to have to come in, and it's going to bounce in there for a base hit. So with no outs here, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers have a man on as they trail 8-6 in the top of the ninth. So John Kraft will step in. He's 0 for 3 today. He walked his last time up, though. First pitch Kraft sees is a strike, 0-1. Gonna throw down to first and not in time.
Glad to see a lot of fans stuck around in this.
That one's grounded over to the second baseman. Took a weird hop. They're going to throw on a second and get the first runner. So Joe Maroney is going to be thrown out at second base, and John Kraft will hit into a fielder's choice. So with 1 out, there'll still be a man at first base for Ricky Castro. And if there's anyone for the Diamond Hoppers who can get something done, it's Ricky Castro.
Oh, yeah.
He is 1 for 4 today with an infield base hit and a walk. And Castro is the type of player that you depend on to advance the runners. Comes the first pitch to Castro. Inside for a ball, 1-0. Kraft down there at first base with a short lead. Comes the 1-0 pitch. He's going to hit that one for a single in the right field, and that'll advance the runners to first and second. And Castro doing what he does best, hitting singles.
Didn't you call it, Brian?
I did. He doesn't hit for power, but he hits for contact. He gets on base a lot thanks to base hits. And that's exactly what he needed to do there, keep the line moving. And now the potential tying run is at first base, and Cam Stewart has a chance to cut this deficit down with John Kraft at second base. Cam Stewart is 3 for 5 today. Has 3 base hits and came around to score.
So he's been active.
Yes, he has, Steve. Dan. I called you Steve there.
Oh, no. Are we going to have that problem?
I was just thinking about how Cam Stewart was Steve's pick for player of the game,
Okay.
actually, is why I called you that. So I was innocent, I swear. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's going to be inside. It's going to get away from Bud. He can't find it, so that's going to allow the runners to advance to second and third. So the potential tying run is at second base and Ricky Castro, and with 1 out, Hoppers have a chance to tie this ball game in the top of the ninth.
Ribbit, ribbit. That's what the Hoppers are making noise.
Yeah, that's the noise frogs make. I understand.
You know, it's been a long game.
I'm in awe, Dan. I'm in awe. That's all I have to say, bud. So a 1-1 count. And that ball is driven to center field. Raw on the move. He will go to the warning track and make the catch. That's going to allow the runner to tag and advance from third base. Joe Maroney will score, and runners will go.
Actually, he might have dropped it.
I think you're right. I think he dropped that out there in center field. I thought he made the catch against the wall. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Cam Stewart is, I think, he's going to hand his gloves off to the assistant coach down there in the first baseline. Yeah, he dropped that ball out there in center field, Raw did.
Wasn't able to corral it.
So with one out, there are now men at second and third, and now it is an 8-7 ball game.
He crashed into the fence, and
He must have dropped it then.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of.
he's waving his hands, like, I don't know. It was very confusion there. But the Hoppers are making noise. I'm not gonna say ribbit again. Well, I just did there.
You just did say it. So that'll be the 14th hit of the ball game for the Hoppers. They've doubled up the hits of the Unicorns. The Unicorns still have a one-run lead. That first pitch is going to be in there for a ball. 8-7 ball game after that RBI double from Cam Stewart. As that's what it was classified as. This was a long run for Raw. 2-0 now on Esteban Gomez. And they're going to intentionally walk him.
Obviously, to try to get that double play.
Yeah, they want the double kit play situation to get out of it, and John Macon will step in.
Now batting, the right fielder, number 12, John Metcalf.
John Macon is 2 for 3 today. He has 2 walks, a base hit, and came around to score, a double with 2 RBIs, and came around to score on that one as well.
So Constantine coming in here did a great job last night.
And good job last inning as well.
But this one's a little shaky.
He comes in and got the double play last half inning, as that one is hit for a base hit up straight up the middle. And that's going to allow one run to score. They're going to wave him around third, and Cam Stewart is going to come home safely. And
Just
now
like
the
that.
Diamond Hoppers have a 9-8 lead in the top of the ninth. So what a comeback for them. And Esteban Gomez will be safe at third, and John Macon has himself an RBI double, 2 RBI double, and he is putting his hat in the ring for player of the game, as that's his 4th RBI on the ball game.
Boy, oh boy. It's been a long game.
It has, and now we're guaranteed to go to the bottom of the ninth, where it will be the Hoppers' turn to try and close it out. The first pitch to Casey Chenoweth hits high in the air. Bud's going to go behind the plate to try and get it into foul territory. Called off by Artiser, who makes the catch. So 2 gone now in the top of the ninth.
Tony, these Hoppers do not give up.
No, they don't. They are not the team. They're definitely the most. I'm trying to think of the word here. I'm drawing a blank. It's been a long game, Dan. They persevere. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm glad I figured it out. They persevere the most out of any team I've seen out in this league. They don't let any deficit get down to them. And even here, when they're down by 2 runs in the 9th inning, they score 3 and take the lead. So the first pitch that Chris Power sees, he swings and misses on. 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike. 0-2 now. The 0-2 pitch comes in. It's going to be inside and in the dirt for a ball. 1-2. One and two count with 2 outs. Men at first and second, and Chris Power has a chance to extend the lead here in the top of the 9th inning. Diamond Hoppers have reclaimed the lead with 3 earned runs, and that'll be outside and low. 2-2 with 2 outs.
You know, the real winners here are the fans sticking it out here in the heat. Those who are left, you know.
Yes. And that one's going to be chopped over to the third baseman, and they're going to throw it on an Artizer and get him. And it's going to be it for the top of the ninth, but the Unicorns have forfeited their 8-6 lead, and the Hoppers now lead at 9-8 going to the bottom of the ninth inning. Last call for the Unicorns now. Leading off for the Unicorns in the bottom of the ninth will be Taylor Galikowski, Mike Rampone, and Luke Doyle, the 1-2-3 men. So not much more, pretty much the best men you want to come up to bat in the bottom of the ninth. So we'll be back shortly. Please stay tuned.
Now batting for your Utica Unicorns, folks. The left fielder, number 19, Taylor Galikowski.
Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the ninth inning. Torrey DeShazer takes back to the mound.
And what a comeback for the Hoppers.
Yeah, 3 earned runs in the top of the ninth to take the lead back. And Taylor Galikowski is going to lead it off. He is 1 for 3 today with a double back in the 5th inning. Eventually came around to score. Also was hit by a pitch in the first and caught stealing. First pitch to him is going to be outside for a ball, 1-0.
He was your pick for the player of the game.
Yeah, and I was wrong. Unless he does something massive here, but with no men on, it's...
Don't worry. Mine was Ricky Castro as well.
The 1-0 pitch is a strike, 1-1.
But I think he has done better than your guy.
Well, he had that base hit that kept the line moving last inning, and he eventually came around to score because of it. So, yeah, he did better than my pick. Comes the 1-1 pitch. And then for a ball, 2-1. Comes the 2-1 pitch. And then for a ball, 3-1. As they try to get the fans into the game, what's left of them, trying to get a Unicorns chant going. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Missed down low. He's going to walk. Taylor Galikowski to start the inning. And with no outs, it's one man on in the bottom of the ninth inning. Mike Rampone will step in. He had a solo shot back in the third inning. He's 2 for 4 today.
That's one horse out of stable.
Nico Lolio is actually going to pinch hit, apparently, for Mike Rampone. Nico Lolio had a grand slam time a couple of weeks ago. Hit the first grand slam of the season.
And the fans, of course, chanting Unicorns.
He had 3 RBIs yesterday, Lolio, so look for him to do some damage today, too. And they got some fans to get back into it, which is good. I know some fans are still here and into the game, as that's a ball, 1-0.
Speaking of Lolio, I mean, we thought he would be in the starting position today.
Yeah, after those 3 RBIs yesterday, I definitely thought he was going to be out there starting, but no dice.
But, he kept active, warming up those pitchers in the bullpen. We've seen him warming up Nagum earlier.
Yes, he was catching for the bullpen pitchers.
Interesting to see there.
And so here comes the 1-0 pitch. Outside 2-0. And pitchers today are having trouble finding the strike zone, as it was only Torrey DeShazer, Devin Alexander, and Brandon White who have been the good pitchers today, if I do say so. 2-1. The rest of the pitchers have gotten lots of 3-ball counts and lots of walks. Seem to not be able to find the strike zone. It's the 2-1 pitch. He's going to drive that one to right field, and Menken's going back to the track, and that's going to be over the wall, and that's going to be a walk-off home run for Nico Lolio.
Oh,
And what a
hero.
back-and-forth game but for these two teams. The Hoppers get the lead in the top of the 9th inning, but Nico Lolio comes in and just blasts one over the wall in right field.
I mean, he was outstanding last night, and,
Yes.
of course, the hero today.
He had the 3 RBIs yesterday, and now the 2 RBI walk-off home run in a pinch hit situation in the bottom of the 9th inning, and it's going to be the Unicorns' 10-9 victory.
That chant helped him.
Yeah, the chant from the crowd helped them. So we're going to go back. We're going to go on break real quick, tally up the final stats for you, give our players of the game, and when we come back, we'll do a little post-game chat. Thank you all for listening. It's a 10-9 victory for the Utica Unicorns. All right, welcome back, everyone, for a very brief post-game chat. The Unicorns top the Hoppers 10-9 in what was a very back-and-forth game. The Hoppers got the lead, then the Unicorns got the lead, then the Hoppers got the lead, then the Unicorns got the lead, then the Hoppers got the lead, then the Unicorns got the lead.
Get the hint?
Get the hint, seriously. So Tom Constant gets the win. He blew the save in the top of the 9th, but because of the walk-off home run from Nico Lolio in a pinch hit situation, it's going to end up being a win for him, and the loss goes to Torrey DeShazer.
That's something you don't really see.
Not often. So we have lots of RBIs to go around.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, going through the Hoppers lineup, Cam Stewart had 1 RBI. Esteban Gomez had an RBI. John Macon had 4 RBIs. Casey Chenoweth and Nate Farrell had 3 RBIs. Chris Power did not have any. And that's it for the Hoppers. And for the Unicorns, you had Mike Rampone with 1 RBI, and then Nico Lalio obviously with the walk-off 2-run home run with 2 RBIs. You had Clay Artizer with 2 RBIs, Brandon Guilfoyle with 3 RBIs, and Tim Budd with an RBI. So RBIs for everyone today,
Yeah.
as none of the pitchers really pitched well. The only
No.
if you were to tell me, I were to give you one pitcher to be pitcher of the game, who would you give it to, Bud?
Oh, okay. I want to go with Brandon White.
In his USPBL debut,
Yeah.
you can make an argument for that. He went 1.2 thirds innings pitched with no hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. I'm going to go on the other side. I'm going to go with the Hoppers pitcher, Devin Alexander. He went 2 1/3 innings pitched with no hits, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. But I could see why you would want to go with
Yep. You know,
Brandon White.
obviously our scorecards are full of
Yes.
stats here.
It's full of just scribbles and everything.
Yes.
Who would you give your player of the game to?
You know what? I want to go with John Macon. Went 2 for 3, had 4 RBIs. And 2 walks.
Yeah, I can give you that. The 4 RBIs is definitely telling of how well he played today. Unfortunately, his team ended up losing.
Yeah. But
Um,
Nico Lalio,
That's
one.
who I'm going to give
You're
it
gonna
to.
give it to him?
Nico Lalio in the pinch-hit situation in the bottom of the 9th after Tom Constant had blown the lead in the top. It's a 2-run home run over there into right field to win the game for the Utica Unicorns. And I think that's going to trump anything prior to the game during the game.
Yes.
So, okay, Dan, what's going on Thursday?
Thursday, we have the Beavers taking on, actually, the Beavers and Hoppers in action again. So, actually, the Hoppers are in action again. So, and that's going to be Polish
Heritage Night.
Heritage Night. And also, of course, it's Thirsty Thursdays here at the ballpark. And
Chick-fil-A night, too.
as well.
Can't
So-
forget Chick-fil-A night. That's my favorite part about Thursdays.
And it's going to be, hopefully, another beautiful weekend like we had this weekend.
Yep. So, anyways, from Jimmy John's Field, I'm Brian Fisher with Dan Dobler. The final score today, Utica Unicorns 10, Eastside Diamond Hoppers 9 off a pinch hit walk-off home run from Nico Lolio. So, thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again Thursday at 7:05 p.m. So, please come back and listen again.